Deep within the unranked dungeon black tomb, desperate screams echo through the darkness. Crisis strikes. The team surrounds their leader in panic. Kim Jun-woo lies unconscious, soaked in blood, hovering between life and death. Jun-woo struggles to open his eyes, vision blurring. His first thought isn't about his pain, but the outcome of the mission. Beside him, a burly teammate breaks down. Facing the lingering purple energy, he tilts his head back and sobs in despair. The invincible beast, Gigantiana, has finally fallen. Seeing this, Jun-woo manages a weak, bloody smile of relief. This was no ordinary fight. It took 3 years to hunt down this beast, leaving the battlefield decimated by lightning and explosions. Victory came at a gruesome cost. The blue-haired healer screams for medics, desperately trying to keep the wounded awake amidst the chaos. Supported by 2 comrades, the Vice leader roars in fury and agony. He literally left half his body behind on that battlefield. Seeing his teammate weeping, Jun-woo knows it's the end. With his dying breath, he entrusts the survivors to her care. "I'm sorry." These are his final words. Then, the heart-wrenching screams of his team fade into the consuming darkness. A single beam of light falls on the cold body. South Korea's first hunter, Kim Jun-woo, ends his legendary life surrounded by his comrades. The hero closes his eyes, and reality snaps back hard. In the present day, a high schooler with the same name gets slapped violently across the face. Bullies corner him in the classroom. The guy in green points a finger, mocking him as fake Jun-woo and treating him like a servant. Terrified, the kid breaks into a cold sweat. He smiles bitterly, resigned to his pathetic fate as their lackey. In this moment of humiliation, the gears of fate begin to turn. Welcome to the world of Academy's reincarnated hero. Back in the void, Jun-woo's soul drifts. The word sinner weighs down on him, making him feel his sacrifice was utterly futile. Just as he thinks it's all over, a mysterious voice speaks. "You may be dead, but we continue to exist." Hearing this, Jun-woo's soul erupts. He screams into the void, refusing to let anyone belittle the efforts of him and his comrades. He roars back. "I've already paved the way with every strategy. The hunters of the future will be 100 times stronger than I ever was." At the very moment his consciousness fades, a mysterious voice offers him an impossible choice: 42 years. Without hesitation, Kim Jun-woo screams his final vow into the void. "When I return, I will crush you all." Light swallows everything as his soul drifts through this purple dimension, awaiting a long rebirth. His eyes snap open. Instead of hell, he sees an unfamiliar ceiling. Did he actually survive? He grabs a mirror and freezes. The face staring back is young, but it's definitely not his childhood self. His mind is a chaotic mess. Just as he tries to think, the light fixture overhead suddenly shatters, spiking the tension. Before he can recover, a police officer and a doctor surround his bed, ready for interrogation. The officer's file leaves him dumbfounded. He's a veteran born in 1975, so why do they think he's a 17-year-old? He instinctively mentions fighting the world-ending beast, leaving the 2 men sweating, convinced the kid has lost his mind. Outside, the doctor awkwardly explains it away as post-concussion delusion, while the cop looks thoroughly skeptical. It turns out the body's original owner was ambushed yesterday at dawn. With no witnesses, the case is a mystery. Seeing Kim Jun-woo's total confusion, the officer sighs and gives up on the questioning. Getting nowhere, the officer hands over a business card and wraps up the conversation. Just as the doctor turns to leave, Kim Jun-woo stops him to ask the most critical question. 2051. The doctor's answer strikes Kim Jun-woo like a bolt of lightning. Shock overrides his weakness. He stumbles desperately toward the window and rips open the curtains. In his memory, Seoul was a ruin trampled by monsters, a ghost town filled with despair. But the view before him shatters his reality. The hellscape is gone, replaced by a bustling, peaceful metropolis. Watching a happy family in the park below, he finally realizes that the world he died to protect has become a reality. Tears stream down his face, but Kim Jong-woo smiles brighter than ever. Every sacrifice was worth it. While people enjoy the peaceful sunlight outside, Jong-woo gazes out the window, his mind drifting to his old comrades. Memories of Yeonhee surface, and the weight of 42 years settles heavily on his shoulders. They must all be gone by now. A sudden realization strikes him like lightning. It has been exactly 42 years since that fateful day. Before he can react, a massive impact blasts him across the room. Alarms scream as chaos engulfs the hospital. A massive sphere of energy looms over the city, sending crowds into a panic, while Jong-woo sprints barefoot through the dark corridor. Instead of fear, a grin spreads across his face as he dashes forward, eager to witness how much monster subjugation has evolved. He skids to a halt, his excitement vanishing instantly as his eyes widen in pure shock at the unfolding scene. Confusion sets in as he sees the massive crowd, while a soldier nearby frantically reports that a high-ranking hunter is joining the fray. The announcement declares they are luring the monster out of the dungeon. Jong-woo freezes, his face twisting in horror. "Are you insane?" He looks around at the complacent crowd, trembling with rage as he demands to know if they were all aware of this madness. The iron rule screams in his mind. If a monster breaches the dungeon, the city falls. The battle must happen inside. It was the most fundamental commandment burned into every soldier's memory: contain the threat at all costs. But here, camera crews are setting up for a show. Jong-woo gets shoved by the crowd, watching in disbelief as they treat a disaster like a TV event. He storms the police line, screaming at the crew for their insanity, while bystanders just stare at him like he's a confused high school kid. "This isn't a game!" His desperate warning is cut short by a bone-chilling roar erupting from the dungeon. While Jong-woo stands tense with dread, the crowd erupts in joy, chanting the name of their idol savior Dash. "Go Eun-chae!" An armored SUV pulls up, flanked by guards. A boot hits the pavement, and the fans scream in sheer ecstasy. Go Eun-chae steps into the light, waving to her adoring fans with a practiced smile, treating the battlefield like a red carpet. Jong-woo eyes her critically. She's younger than he expected. Amidst falling petals, she readies her weapon with theatrical flair. Blue holographic screens surround her as she initiates the system connection, authorizing her B-rank skills with a surge of digital power. Alarms blare as the operator screams a warning, the portal behind him erupting with violent blue and gold energy. A massive claw tears through the lightning as the wolf roars, but the golden-haired huntress Go Eun-chae stands her ground, sword drawn and unfazed. She grips her thrust blade, channeling a blinding chill as high-tier ice magic ignites. She's going for the kill. The beast lunges with a thunderous shriek, jaws wide, but she leans back in a hair's breadth dodge, barely escaping death. Capitalizing on the momentum, she slides across the battlefield at breakneck speed, a blur of motion under the cold moonlight. Her blade carves through the ice, unleashing a precise slash that erupts into a shockwave of blue energy upon impact. Fans watch in awe, calling the fight a beautiful dance, while a child innocently vows to become a hunter just like her. Watching the crowd cheer for Bloodsport, Kim Jong-woo smiles a cold, unsettling smirk that doesn't reach his crimson eyes. Back in the arena, Eun-chae charges straight into the monster's crushing stomp, delivering a fully charged slash against the lightning. She transforms into a streak of light, launching skyward as a storm of razor-sharp ice crystals bombards the target below. The beast tries to roar, but the freezing blizzard swallows it whole, trapping its massive frame in a prison of ice. Victory is absolute. The giant wolf collapses into a frozen statue as the huntress stands tall, a perfect performance. The stadium erupts into chaos, fans clutching their heads and screaming Go Eun-chae's name like they're at a pop concert. Amidst the deafening cheers, Jong-woo lets out a scoff of pure disdain. Is this a hunter? This isn't a battle. Rage burns in his eyes as he grits his teeth at the rotten reality. Hunting as entertainment? This piece is a joke. In the Black Tomb dungeon, there are no cheers, only the heart-wrenching screams of comrades echoing in the dark. Bloodied and broken, Kim Jong-woo lies on the ground as his team desperately begs him to wake up, but he's fading fast. Blood blurs his vision as he struggles to open his eyes. Ignoring his own life, his first thought is for the mission's success. Seeing their leader shattered, the hardened warrior breaks down, his agonizing sobs filling the air with utter despair. The colossal beast finally falls, victory achieved. But Junwoo, face slick with blood, can only manage a hollow laugh. The triumph tastes like ash. Gigantiana was a nightmare unlike any other. It took 3 years of relentless hell just to bring this beast to its knees. The cost is devastating, hundreds of lives snuffed out. Amidst the rubble, a girl screams for her comrade to hold on, her voice cracking with desperation. The wounded soldier sags in his teammate's arms. He forces a grim smile, pointing back. Half his body is missing, and he knows this is the end. The warrior squeezes her eyes shut, tears streaming down. With his dying breath, the man leaves one final plea: live on for those who fell first. Junwoo collapses, vision fading, his heart heavy with regret. The frantic screams of Captain drift away as darkness swallows him. A single spotlight illuminates the cold body as the team kneels in silence. Kim Junwoo, the first hunter in legend, has fallen. Just as the heroic legend reaches its peak, a hand violently slaps the back of a young boy's head, shattering the mood. Cut to the present. A group of bullies corners him. The guy in the green hoodie smirks, demanding the fake Junwoo buy them hot pot, treating him like a walking wallet. The bully whines about food, but the dark-haired boy in the chair shifts. He plays the submissive errand boy, but a dangerous sneer curls at the corner of his mouth. The absurdity and rebirth all begin here, within the walls of this academy. Back in the void, purple rain falls like tears. A voice echoes through the darkness. Your sacrifice was completely meaningless. Floating paralyzed in a purple cosmos, Junwoo accepts his death. But a mysterious voice pierces the silence. Only your time has ended. Even as a spirit, Junwoo rages. He screams into the void. It wasn't brute force that won, but his meticulously crafted tactics. He swears his legacy paved the way. Future hunters will stand on his shoulders, becoming stronger and more efficient than he ever was. The voice scoffs, dropping a bombshell. Your tactics are fine. For 42 years from now. Junwoo freezes in shock. The monster prophesies its return in 42 years, mocking humanity's future. Junwoo curses back, swearing to crush the bug when that day comes. Light fades, and his consciousness plunges into the abyss of time, drifting toward an unknown fate. Eyes snap open to a strange ceiling. He bolts upright, cold sweat on his brow. He died on the battlefield. So why is he in a hospital? He grabs a mirror and gasps. The reflection is young, but it's a complete stranger's face. Junwoo wakes to ominous knocking. Before he can react, ceiling lights shatter above him, instantly spiking the tension. Before he can process the chaos, a doctor and a stern police officer loom over his bed. It feels like an interrogation. The cop states he's 17. Junwoo snaps back that he was born in 1975, leaving the two adults dumbfounded and sweating. He starts rambling about fighting the demon beast in a dungeon. The officer and doctor exchange confused glances, utterly lost. The cop whispers, asking if he's delusional. The doctor awkwardly suggests it's just post-traumatic confusion blurring reality. Getting nowhere, the cop explains Junwoo was attacked at dawn with no witnesses or CCTV, leaving the case a mystery. Overwhelmed by the nonsense, Junwoo falls silent. The cop sighs, realizing he won't get any answers today. The officer hands over a card, telling him to call if memories return, and finally leaves him be. As the doctor turns to leave, Junwoo stops him. Trembling, he asks the most critical question, "What year is it?" 2051. The number hits Junwoo like a sledgehammer. His eyes widen in absolute horror as his reality shatters. Screaming impossible, he loses control and hurls himself at the window, shattering the glass to escape this nightmare. In that moment, he braces himself, expecting to see the burning, monster-infested ruins of the hell he remembers. But instead of ash, he sees a gleaming, peaceful metropolis under a clear blue sky. He can't believe his eyes. Watching a happy family in the park below, the sheer peace of it all leaves him stunned and painfully alienated. The scene cuts to darkness. Manic laughter mixes with sobbing as a mysterious, inevitable fate begins to unfold. Elsewhere, a woman watches people play outside, quietly reciting the names of her fallen comrades with a heavy heart. It's been 42 years. She assumes her friends are long reunited in the afterlife, the weight of time pressing down on her. Suddenly, realization strikes like lightning. The date aligns exactly with the prophecy it's starting again. Back at the hospital, sirens wail. The building shakes violently, knocking Junwoo down as disaster warning blares. A blue portal rips open in the hallway. Chaos erupts as people flee, and Junwoo acts on instinct, sprinting away from the danger. Junwoo sprints down the hallway in his hospital gown, grinning like a kid. It's been 42 years, and he's dying to see how strong modern hunters have become. He skids to a halt, his smile vanishing instantly. Something's wrong on the street, and his eyes widen in pure shock. A massive crowd blocks the way, tension thick in the air. An armored commander yells into his comms a high-level hunter is joining the raid. While the broadcast warns people to stay back, the commander drops a bombshell. In 10 minutes, they're luring the monster out of the dungeon. The scarred commander glares at the crowd, his expression grim, demanding everyone's full attention for what comes next. But this is madness. The iron rule is to kill monsters inside the dungeon. If they escape, the whole nation could fall. This used to be the golden rule. Commanders would drill it into soldiers as the absolute bottom line, a protocol to defend with their lives. But the world has changed. Junwoo tries to intervene, but gets shoved back by guards, while a camera crew casually sets up for a live stream nearby. The hostess hypes up the show for ratings, while Junwoo loses it behind the police tape. Luring a monster out? Are you all insane? Veins pop on his forehead as he screams in pure rage. This is a man-eating monster, not some game for your entertainment. No one listens. The crowd goes wild chanting, "Go Eun-chai," treating a deadly raid like a pop idol fan meeting. Security tightens, a luxury car door opens. A boot hits the pavement, and the crowd erupts in deafening screams. Star hunter Go Eun-chai strikes a pose, basking in the flashbulbs, yelling, "Look at me!" as if walking a runway, not a battlefield. Someone casually comments on her age, while Eun-chai turns her back to the crowd, gathering blue mana in her palm for the show. No combat instinct here, just a system uplink. Authorization windows pop up, unlocking a B-rank skill like logging into a video game. Monster incoming! A warning blares as a massive magical barrier deploys, sealing the street with crackling energy. Darkness shatters as a giant wolf bursts from the ground, crackling with lightning, its blood-red eyes locked on its prey. Eun-chai doesn't flinch. Her sword glows with frost as an ice magic circle spins to life behind her, radiating power. The wolf roars, its voice shattering the pavement, but the slender figure stands her ground, facing the beast head-on. In a split second, her blade flashes under the moonlight, cutting through the smoke as she strikes with blinding speed. The grand finale. Eun-chai drops a massive ice sword from the sky, crushing the beast instantly. The fangirls go wild, screaming about how cool she looks, treating the fight like a pop concert. Everyone is cheering, even the kids. But Junwoo stands silent, his eyes cold and unimpressed. Just moments ago, she was displaying flashy moves on the ice, clashing head-on with the giant wolf. She dove from the sky, seemingly more focused on showing off her skills than efficient hunting. The wolf stood no chance, impaled by jagged ice spikes, howling in agony as it died. Victory posed. Eun-chai stands amidst the frozen ruins, basking in the glory of her kill. The chants deafen the air. Go Eun-chai! The crowd is whipped into a frenzy of adoration. Junwoo lets out a dry, bitter laugh. "Ha! No," he mutters, "this is completely absurd." Rage ignites. He grits his teeth, glaring at the scene. You call this a hunt? It's a joke. The whole system is rotten. It's all about the show, with zero regard for actual safety. The front line is a movie set, and the backup is where staff are taking selfies instead of guarding the perimeter. What drives him crazy is the risk. Fighting unpredictable monsters in a crowded street is playing with lives. He snaps. Jun-woo storms over and blocks a camera, startling the oblivious cameraman. He turns his fury on the staff. Enough. What the hell do you think you're doing? The staff freeze in shock as Jun-woo drills them. Dragging a monster out for a show? Are you insane? It could go berserk. Stray's skills could kill civilians. Your rear guard is wide open. You're begging for a disaster. Veins pop on his forehead. This isn't a subjugation. It's just a cheap, reckless street performance. A girl tries to argue with textbook rules. Jun-woo shuts her down cold. Forget the books. The real field is different. Pure killing intent floods out of him. The girl freezes in terror, staring into the eyes of a veteran who's seen hell. The modern hunter scene is rotten to the core. Suits pin a man to the concrete, crushing him without mercy. The victim screams the name Go Eun-chae in desperation, only to be mocked for his pathetic lack of skill. Blonde icon Go Eun-chae watches with cold indifference, while the protagonist breaks into a sweat. This school is a mess. Back to reality. Clad in pajamas, Kim Jun-woo slumps on a bench. 42 years later, he has finally returned. But despair hits hard. Hunters are weaker than ever. If the apocalypse returns now, humanity is finished. He clutches his head in agony. He needs to prepare, but who would believe a lunatic in pajamas? Suddenly, a spark. Strangers won't believe him, but his old squad, his brothers in arms, might still be out there. He pauses, frustrated. How to find them in this massive city? Wait, a memory surfaces. He recalls a kid mentioning an academy. Instantly, his mind flashes back to a sunset decades ago. If a hunter academy exists, only one man could have built it. He sprints, shouting the name Bae Wishik. Flashback to young Bae Wishik, a red-eyed rookie, looking completely baffled by the idea of an academy. Years ago, by the campfire, Wishik dreamed aloud. After the war, I'll build an academy to raise the next generation. They asked their leader Jun-woo to name it. He held his cup, looking utterly unprepared for the responsibility. He lazily suggested Korea Hunter Academy. Wishik exploded, sweating and yelling that it was way too basic. Present day. Seeing that exact name on the wall, Jun-woo laughs. The guy actually used the basic name. He marvels at the massive gate, only to jump when a guard barks at him from behind. The guard sneers, assuming this pajama-clad kid is just another stalker fan of the idol Go Eun-chae. Jun-woo waves his hands and drops the bomb, Bae Wishik. The guard freezes, questioning his own ears. You mean the chairman? Jun-woo grins, bingo! The guard's jaw hits the floor in pure shock. Jun-woo arrives at the Hunter Academy. The guard sounds skeptical about a special admission student, but Jun-woo decides to just play along to get inside. Jun-woo confirms he's the student. The guard clicks his tongue in annoyance and leads the way, but Jun-woo notices a strange look in the man's eyes. Is that pity? They walk into the plaza, but Jun-woo suddenly freezes. His eyes widen, pupils shrinking in shock, and cold sweat runs down his face as he stares ahead. It's a massive portrait of his past self. The sheer scale of it is ridiculous. Jun-woo is flabbergasted, and even the guard seems taken aback by the intense aura. The guard immediately yells at him to keep it down. Jun-woo apologizes profusely, face-palming in embarrassment. Who on earth puts up such a giant, cringeworthy portrait? On the wall hangs a plaque with leader Kim Jun-woo's motto, 99% effort and 1% talent. Seeing his own words immortalized like this leaves Jun-woo with mixed feelings. Outside the office, the guard turns around and sternly warns Jun-woo to behave himself inside. Then, he firmly knocks on the door. The guard respectfully announces their arrival. Inside, A dignified man in a suit, Chairman Bei Wushik, sits with an imposing aura and calmly invites them in. Even as they enter, the guard points a finger at Junwoo, giving one last warning. Junwoo sighs and nods, clearly tired of being treated like a troublemaker. Having delivered the package, the guard flashes a mischievous grin, says his goodbyes, and promptly leaves Junwoo to fend for himself. The door clicks shut. Junwoo stands there, looking calm on the surface, but his foot taps nervously. For the first time in a long while, he feels a twinge of tension. Bei Wushik is not amused. He scowls, stating he never heard about any special admission, and glares at the intruder, demanding to know who he is. As the chairman leans in with a threat, Junwoo blunders and calls him by his first name, Wushik. The familiarity only makes the older man's glare colder. Suddenly, Junwoo lunges forward and hugs his old friend from behind. He beams with excitement, shouting, "It's me. I almost didn't recognize you, you've changed so much." Wushik explodes with rage, pointing a trembling finger and screaming, "I've never met such a lunatic in my life." Junwoo points at himself, genuinely shocked by the rejection. The chairman grabs the phone to call security. Thinking fast, Junwoo drops a name. "What about Sun Young?" Wushik freezes, the phone still in hand, his eyes narrowing in suspicion. Junwoo doesn't stop there. "Sun Young from Team 3. Remember how you got rejected and cried your eyes out?" Wushik is so mortified, he looks like he's about to have a stroke. Junwoo grins mischievously. "So it didn't work out, huh?" But his smile vanishes instantly, as a hand shoots out and grabs him by the collar. Wushik is snapped. He shakes Junwoo violently, screaming, "Who are you, you punk?" Junwoo is genuinely rattled. He never expected his old subordinate to manhandle him like this. Playtime is over. Junwoo's expression turns ice cold, his eyes glowing red with menace. "You've grown bold, haven't you?" he whispers, his aura shifting instantly. Ignoring the supervisor's hysterical screaming, the guy in the hoodie doesn't flinch. He casually catches the swinging hand, a mocking smile playing on his lips. The supervisor's eyes bulge with shock and sweat. Unable to accept the defiance, he screams about facing monsters, trying to regain authority through sheer volume. A massive spectral soldier manifests behind him. His eyes glow with intensity as he coldly retorts, "If you're going to take control, do it properly." Cut to the base camp at dusk. Under a purple sky, the dilapidated building stands silent, hinting that trouble is brewing. Trouble indeed. A desperate man in a hat holds a knife to a woman's throat, screaming like a lunatic for antibiotics and food. The guards sweat nervously as they exchange intel. The man was exiled for an infectious disease and has returned out of desperation to steal supplies. The protagonist arrives and assesses the situation. Seeing the man using a crying little girl as a human shield, he pauses, deep in thought. Panic sets in as the team approaches. The kidnapper strangles the screaming girl tighter, his face twisted in fear as he yells, "Stay back!" The hero looks down coldly from above. The kidnapper, losing his mind, plays his final card. "Do you want to watch this woman die?" Shockingly, the hero turns his back and coldly says, "Do as you please." Even the crows scatter as the kidnapper freezes in total disbelief. The kidnapper trembles, confused. The hero turns, staring with dead eyes. "What's wrong? Can't do it? Are you unable to kill her?" The kidnapper screams about saving his sister. The hero remains unmoved, countering with brutal logic. "If you want to save a life, be prepared to take one." Crouching into a combat stance, the hero's eyes overflow with killing intent. "In this world," he warns, "if you take control, you finish it." Provoked to the breaking point, the kidnapper snaps. Screaming then die peacefully. He lunges, thrusting the knife violently toward the hostage. Rain suddenly pours down as the kidnapper leaps like a beast. His dagger slices through the downpour, aiming straight for the hero's back. Snap! In an instant, the strike is caught. The hero turns, his crimson eyes glowing terrifyingly in the dark as he crushes the attacker's arm. With a violent throw, he tosses the kidnapper like trash. The force is brutal, sending the man flying uncontrollably through the rain. The kidnapper slams into the concrete, spitting blood. He screams in agony as his body skids across the rain-soaked ground. Still clinging to consciousness, the man drops to his knees, gasping. Clutching his knife, he glares with pure hatred, "You bastard." The thug in green loses it, screaming "Die," as he lunges for a desperate final kill. Jun-woo grins, equips the Ring of Patelis, and blasts him away with a crushing counterstrike. Energy gathers at his fingertips as he activates the skill explosive flick. The strike slams down, unleashing a massive shockwave that crushes the ground beneath. The thug slams into the wall like a ragdoll, while Jun-woo stands amidst the ruins, watching coldly. The fight barely over, Jun-woo orders the trembling accomplice to find antibiotics and search for the sister. The minion panics, stammering that the camp is over 100 kilometers away. It's impossible. Jun-woo silences the doubts with pure intimidation, forcing the minion to kneel and obey. Instead of killing them, he orders them to carry the wounded back. Force conscription begins now. Jun-woo waves casually as he walks away. His words were a team now sealing their fate. Scene shift. Chairman Bei stares in disbelief, unable to grasp that this child is his former commander. Jun-woo shrugs innocently, leaving Chairman Bei sweating and utterly bewildered by this absurdity. Seeing his old subordinate still in denial, Jun-woo sighs. Coming back from the dead as a kid is a hard pill to swallow. To prove his identity, Jun-woo drops the bomb, reminding Bei of the time he wet his pants during his first hunt. Cut to the academy, where Jun-woo rushes up the stairs, seemingly in a hurry. Chaos erupts in the office as the manager screams into the phone, demanding to know how this special admission student got in. The guard slumps on the bench, trembling with regret for misinterpreting the situation, now dreading the consequences. He peeks out nervously to explain, only to find Jun-woo standing there with crossed arms, freezing the moment. Desperate to regain his composure, the man drops to the floor and starts cranking out push-ups, chanting "Focus" to himself. Jun-woo presses an ice pack to his face, fighting the throbbing pain, while Woo-shik sweats bullets beside him. To prove his identity, Jun-woo had to expose Woo-shik's embarrassing past, leaving the chairman kneeling in shame. After the awkwardness, the mood shifts. Woo-shik laments how the world has changed, and Jun-woo's gaze turns cold. Woo-shik mentions the trend of luring monsters into cities for subjugation, and Jun-woo instantly guesses the location of the farce. Despite his annoyance, Jun-woo admits to his old friend that surface-level peace has indeed been maintained since his sacrifice. But this peace is twisted. Monster hunting has become a gladiator show, and Jun-woo burns with rage at this reckless entertainment. Hunters are now glorified influencers packaged by corporations, controlled by sponsors. The whole system is rotten to the core. Jun-woo slams the table and roars, "It's not too late," demanding Woo-shik use his position to re-educate the kids. But Woo-shik slumps in his chair, bitter and defeated. He's just a puppet leader, powerless against the rules set by the major families. Jun-woo suggests calling on their old comrades, only to learn they are now the high-ranking officials running this corrupt system. Hearing this, Jun-woo's eyes flash red. It seems his old comrades might now be enemies who won't welcome his return. Watching Woo-shik frantically pledge loyalty, Jun-woo face bombs in frustration. This mess is even worse than he imagined. Woo-shik tries to diffuse the tension, weakly adding, "But the world is peaceful, right?" Jun-woo remains deadly silent. The old man suggests Jun-woo enjoy a new life, but Jun-woo coldly drops a bombshell. Gigantiana will be revived. The sudden news freezes the air. Jun-woo repeats the name, his eyes showing zero sign of joking. Woo-shik turns pale with terror at the demon's name, trembling all over, while Jun-woo simply nods in confirmation. Jun-woo recalls the vision from the brink of death. The prophecy wasn't a rumor, but something he heard directly in the void. Revived in 42 years? Woo-shik can't accept it, frantically spreading his hands to deny this hopeless future. Jun-woo spreads his hands helplessly. I'm a dead man sitting right in front of you. Why is a monster reviving so hard to believe? Facing his panicked subordinate, Junwoo's gaze sharpens into steel. Just like before, I'll handle it myself. Wishik panics about the weak body, but Junwoo snaps back with a lethal glare. He's killed it once, he'll kill it again. Junwoo lays it out. He needs his legendary weapon back. Wishik's face pales, knowing exactly what and who that involves. His sword is locked away, like a museum exhibit. Junwoo sees that the irony his own gear is held hostage by Executive Director Go Sukdu. Wishik gasps at the name, but Junwoo grins, remembering the muscle-brained rookie who used to follow him like a puppy. Wishik drops the bomb. The loyal rookie is now a power player who won't welcome his old boss. Junwoo groans, scratching his head in frustration. Wishik reveals the ace. Sukdu is a fool for his granddaughter, and she attends this very academy. Junwoo's eyes widen. There's the opening. Plan B, target the granddaughter. Wishik points out Junwoo has already met her at the chaotic subjugation site earlier. The image of the giant, glowing girl flashes in his mind. Junwoo freezes. That chaotic powerhouse is Go Uchai. Junwoo's jaw drops. The connection clicks, and the absurdity of the situation hits him like a truck. Wishik admits he furiously scolded the team that day. Junwoo screams, realizing the bridge is already burned. Junwoo demands to know if there was violence. Wishik, terrified, denies it vehemently. He just yelled and stormed off. Junwoo clutches his head, eyes narrowing in sheer frustration. The easy plan just got infinitely more complicated. Snapping point reached. Junwoo screams into the void, abandoning all logic and patience. Junwoo thrusts a hand out, cutting the panic short. Wishik flinches, startled by the sudden shift in demeanor. Junwoo switches instantly to business mode. Wishik stammers, asking for the enrollment application form. Wishik trembles under the intense pressure as Junwoo demands the paperwork. It's not a request, it's an order. The strategy is locked. Infiltrate the academy, get close to the granddaughter, and leverage her to reclaim his blade from Sukdu. Wishik loses it. Enrollment? You're mentally 80 years old. He can't believe the legendary hero is going back to high school. Wishik doesn't let up. You'll smell like an old man. You'll either get bullied or bully them. Junwoo reels from the verbal assault. Rubbing his temples, Junwoo snaps, I'm not there to make friends. I grab the sword and I'm out. Wishik sighs, stubborn as always. In the office, Junwoo slams his special admission form down with a smirk, calling out his old title. Chairman Bei looks exhausted, practically begging his former commander not to be too harsh on the fragile modern kids. Junwoo promises he'll go easy, but that fake smile screams trouble. He immediately flips the script, sweating a bit as he demands the chairman tolerate whatever chaos he's about to cause. The chairman keeps lecturing him about how fragile students are these days. Junwoo snaps, losing his patience and shouting at his old subordinate to stop nagging him like a mother hen. The next day, the sun rises over Hunter Academy. The prestigious institution stands tall, completely unaware of the legendary chaos that's about to walk through its doors. Standing before Class 1E, Junwoo hesitates. Despite his centuries of experience, the old veteran actually feels a rare twinge of nervousness about his first day of high school. He steels himself, remembering the chairman's request. The plan is simple. Keep a low profile and stay under the radar until he can locate his target, Go Uchai. Before he can even touch the door handle, a sharp voice cuts through the air. Junwoo spins around in genuine shock, caught off guard by the sudden confrontation. A blonde girl stands there with an icy glare, ordering him to move if he's not going in. The legendary hunter instantly crumbles, stammering out an excuse like a terrified schoolboy. She steps into his personal space, staring him down intensely. Junwoo sweats bullets, completely confused by her hostility as she scrutinizes his face. She suddenly asks if he's the dog from yesterday. Junwoo freezes, realizing with horror that this rude girl is exactly the person he was supposed to find Go Uchai. Junwoo tries to protest the dog comment, but she brushes him off and walks away. Her sheer arrogance leaves him fuming and utterly baffled. As Junwoo walks into the classroom grumbling about kids these days, a sharp-eyed student in the corner notices him, his expression instantly shifting to suspicion. The atmosphere in the room shifts. Students start whispering and pointing, realizing this new guy is the same maniac who caused a scene yesterday. Gossip spreads like wildfire. Girls gasp in disbelief, while one student breaks into a cold sweat, looking like he's just seen a monster walk into their classroom. Junwoo ignores the stares and heads for a seat. He's actually disappointed. He expected a hardcore military academy with weapons everywhere, not this ordinary high school vibe. He wonders where to sit, only to find a desk occupied by a massive, flashy bouquet of roses. The card reads, "Congratulations on your enrollment, Director Bae Wushik." Junwoo's face turns green. Is his old subordinate trying to sabotage his low profile? This dramatic gesture looks more like a marriage proposal than an enrollment gift. He disgustedly shoves the expensive bouquet aside, grumbling about the waste of money. To a survivalist like him, anything you can't eat is just useless trash. Before he can settle in, shouting erupts. A teacher is screaming at a student, the tension in the room spiking instantly as the conflict explodes. At the door stands an arrogant delinquent, yawning and complaining loudly. He's furious about being woken up early for school, showing zero respect for the teacher or anyone else. The atmosphere in Class E is suffocating. From the corner, a snide voice mocks Junwoo for acting like he's in charge. A blonde delinquent looms behind a nervous student, grinning like a predator spotting its prey. The bully gets right in his face, dropping all pretenses. "Well, look at that. It's the stray dog from yesterday." He recognizes Junwoo immediately, the special transfer student who publicly messed with the idol hunter Go Eun-chai. Waving his phone, the bully announces that Junwoo's embarrassing video has gone viral. The whole school is laughing at him. The blatant humiliation ignites Junwoo's rage. His fist clenches, barely holding back the urge to strike right there. The bully, Oh Juseok, grabs Junwoo by the hair, shaking him disrespectfully. "A nutcase like you belongs in the trash with us?" Remembering the advice to lay low, Junwoo swallows his murderous intent and extends a hand for peace, but Juseok just sneers. Their hands meet, but the moment Junwoo says his name, the air turns thick with tension. Juseok bursts into hysterical laughter. "Did your parents lose their minds? Naming a loser after the legendary hero?" The mockery shifts to something darker. His eyes gleam with a disgusting, predatory hunger. "Hey, how does she look up close?" Ignoring Junwoo's reaction, he spirals into lewd comments. "I'm talking about her body. She's got an attitude, but those curves." Juseok gets lost in his own delusional fantasy. "If not for her powerful grandpa, she'd be exactly my type." Hearing this filth, Junwoo's gaze turns ice cold. He's looking at a dead man walking. Suddenly, a cold scoff cuts through. A blonde girl steps in, unable to stomach it anymore. "You again? Go look in a mirror." Juseok snaps, but the girl stands her ground. "Why so loud? We're all Class E trash here. Stop acting superior." She hits a nerve. "You rely on daddy's connections and still got dumped in Class E. Is that something to be proud of?" Exposed and humiliated, Juseok loses it. Roaring with rage, he swings his fist directly at the girl. Bam! A deafening impact echoes as the strike lands with full force, sending debris flying. But in the next second, it's Juseok sitting on the floor. Eyes wide with shock, he can't comprehend what just happened. Chaos erupts in the classroom, screams echoing everywhere. Ignoring the mess he made, Junwoo storms out with a face like thunder, not giving a damn. His gaze is ice cold, but the mocking nickname has already spread meme Junwoo. It seems these kids have no idea who they're really dealing with. New scene, same trouble. The punk Oh Juseok towers over him, looking down with a sneer and calling out that insulting nickname. He didn't just talk, he kicked. While Junwoo clutches his knee, the psycho leans in, taunting, "What? Want another serving?" Patience snaps. Junwoo roars a death threat, but the psycho just bursts into maniacal laughter, finding the whole thing hilarious. Red eyes glowing eerily, Oh Jusiok sneers, "You? Have you ever even seen real death?" Coming from a punk to a legendary hero, the irony is rich. Offended by the sheer audacity, Junwoo's face contorts with rage. With a furious roar, he winds up to teach this kid a brutal lesson. Impact. Oh Jusiok goes flying, but he doesn't black out. Instead, he coldly analyzes Junwoo's form midair. This kid's durability is abnormal. Just as Junwoo moves to finish it, the door slides open. The homeroom teacher freezes, eyes wide with shock at the violence. Buzzkill. Junwoo clicks his tongue in annoyance. Before storming off, he drops a cold threat. "See you later, psycho." The war is on. Alone in the hallway, the mask slips. Leaning against the wall, his eyes burn with dangerous intent. If they want to play, he'll make it a living hell. Cut to the chairman's office. Poor Bae Wushik is clutching his head in agony. Looks like Junwoo's little stunt is already giving him a migraine. Junwoo barges in, complaining about the trashy school. Wushik looks utterly defeated, thinking, "I'm already cleaning up your mess, give me a break." But it's complicated. Wushik explains grimly that this specific bully has connections so deep even the school can't fully bury the incident. The reveal: Oh Jusiok is the bureau minister's son. An untouchable psycho who uses his dad's power to silence every scandal he causes. Wushik warns him, "Touch him again, and no one can save you." Junwoo just waves it off impatiently, yelling, "I'll handle it myself." He walks out sighing, only to be ambushed by a blonde girl. Her sudden question nearly gives him a heart attack. It's Go-Hyun. She scolds him for provoking the psycho, but Junwoo, already annoyed, snaps back, asking why she even cares. Junwoo clarifies, he insulted Go-Eun-chae first. The moment the name drops, the girl's expression freezes, eyes wide with shock. Watching her reaction, the gears turn in Junwoo's head. The resemblance, the name. Is this outcast actually the superstar Go-Eun-chae's sister? Junwoo spots the nameplate and connects the dots. He points straight at her. "Wait, are you Go-Eun-chae's sister?" She doesn't hesitate. "Yep." Jackpot. No need to chase the celebrity sister when he can start right here. Junwoo plays the sympathy card, claiming he's also an illegitimate sibling to build a bond. Bad move. She clutches her head, revealing she's a total outcast. Ignoring her pain, Junwoo presses on about the one person he actually cares about, her grandfather. Her expression turns ice cold. "Great relationship," she sneers. "He's the old geezer who kicked me out of the family." Junwoo pauses, caught off guard. She immediately calls him out for being a social climber. He doesn't even deny it, shrugging. "My bad. Thought I hit the jackpot." The mood freezes, but Junwoo switches tactics. His eyes sharpen as he delivers a cold truth. "Special admissions like you are prey. You need protection more than anyone." She's not buying it. Head down, disappointed, she calls him trash for caring about status. Junwoo just stands there, taking the insult. The argument explodes. She accuses him of judging her. He gets fed up with her naivety. Clutching his head, he snaps, "Just wait. You'll see how brutal reality is soon enough." It's a total disaster. Junwoo is left frustrated, scratching his head, while she shoots him a glare filled with pure disappointment. She leaves him with a cold silence. The interaction was a complete failure, leaving nothing but tension in the air. A sparrow flies off, marking the end of that plan. Junwoo leans against the window, sighing. The easy route failed. Time to find another way to reach the main family. Trouble finds him immediately. A thug in a green hoodie blocks his path, sneering, "Hey, you're that special admission case from Class E, right?" Junwoo gives him a bored look. "So what?" But the hallway fills up fast. The goon squad surrounds him, smirking and ready for violence. It's a classic shakedown. "Follow me," the leader commands. The pack surrounds him like they're escorting a prisoner to execution. The thug threatens a public beating. Jung-woo immediately switches into victim mode, clutching his head and trembling. Ah, please no! They drag him to an abandoned shed behind the school. Secluded, dark, the perfect spot for a beatdown. 5 silhouettes block the doorway, shutting out the light. Heavy footsteps echo as they step into the darkness with him. Inside, Jung-woo isn't shaking, he's critiquing the smell of stale cigarettes. From the shadows, a voice taunts. Yo, you here, fake Jung-woo? The ringleader sits on the stairs, grinning like a predator. Before we give you some unforgettable memories, let me ask you something. The bully rants about his status. Jung-woo just sighs, completely over it. Good grief, everywhere I go, it's special admission this, special admission that. Jung-woo tilts his head with a mocking smirk, genuinely baffled. Honestly, why is this such a big deal to you people? That hit a nerve. The bully's face contorts with rage, veins popping. You charity case. Acting like we're equals? I'd crush you if I could. The hallway goes cold. 3 goons surround him, sneering. Consider yourself lucky we're keeping this quiet. Get him. A kick flies and Jung-woo sidesteps effortlessly and counters. With a thunderous impact, the loudmouth is sent flying backward. The thug slams into the wall, groaning. Jung-woo stands calm, while the guy on the floor tries to act tough. Oh, good at dodging, huh? Seeing their friend down, the other 2 see red. They lunge forward, shouting, You cocky little charity case. The double team is chaotic. Jung-woo dodges one swing, but the blonde lands a heavy hook right to his face. Blood splatters instantly. Sensing weakness, the guy in green charges in like a bull. But Jung-woo stops him dead in his tracks with just one hand. The tables turn instantly. Jung-woo stomps him into the ground, pinning him down with cold, ruthless efficiency. The attacker lies on the floor, nose shattered, twitching. The others freeze, eyes wide with shock. The hallway goes silent. The bullies are trembling, cold sweat pouring down. Jung-woo pockets his hands, staring them down. What's wrong? Aren't you coming at me? Jung-woo's eyes burn with terrifying intensity against the darkness. Didn't you want a memory? Let's make it unforgettable then. He looks down at the so-called elites, a scornful smirk on his face. Just a bunch of little punks. Meanwhile, Go Eun-chai storms down the stairs, heels clicking furiously. That damn kid. She replays their argument, Jung-woo mocking their obsession with status, and her snapping back. You talk big for someone who knows nothing. Gossip spreads fast. Hey! Oh, Jusiok's gang took the special admission kid. He's done for. Serves him right. Fastest dropout in history. Someone sneers. Eun-chai pauses as a student asks about telling a teacher, only to be shut down. Stay quiet. Eun-chai closes her eyes, Jung-woo's stinging words echoing in her mind. Looks like you're no different from them, obsessed with background. She takes a deep breath, ignores the gossip, and walks straight toward Class 1E. The blonde girl marches toward Class 1E. Behind her, a shadowy figure watches silently, creating an eerie sense of being stalked. Chaos in the classroom. A student lies bleeding on the floor, while a dark-haired boy approaches calmly, hands in pockets, amidst the shock. In a warehouse, the ringleader sits high up, screaming at his terrified lackeys to attack. The underlings tremble, caught between fear and obedience. The purple-haired bully scoffs at the injury, mocking his victim's physical and mental weakness with a cruel, red-eyed glare. It's forced training. The bully sits comfortably, demanding the battered victim on the floor use his skill, despite the blood and exhaustion. The 2 lackeys cower in the dark. Terrified of expulsion, but more afraid of their leader, they have no choice but to obey. Suddenly, the lackeys clutch their wrists in agony. The protagonist recognizes the bracelets instantly. They aren't jewelry, they're disguised weapons. The protagonist steps in, shielding the victims. With a firm stomp and a cold enough, get lost, he takes control of the situation. The bully, Oh Jusiok, snaps and accesses the system. Ignoring his lackey's warning about disciplinary action, he screams in rage and prepares to fight. System alerts flash as a D-rank combat skill unlocks. Jusiok glows with purple energy, while the protagonist watches with a cold, unimpressed stare. The weapon materializes a massive black trident. Jusiok grips it, grinning maniacally, convinced he now holds the ultimate power. Jusiok threatens to brutalize him, but the protagonist just stands there, hands on hips, and asks mockingly, "Kid, do you even know how to use that?" That hits a nerve. Jusiok screams back, "I'm already using it, you fool," completely missing the point and exposing his amateurism. The protagonist sighs and summons a broom. He shakes his head, disappointed by the bully's shallow understanding that summoning a weapon equals mastering a skill. Trident versus broom. The protagonist points his cleaning tool like a spear, his voice dropping dangerously. "How dare you use a skill on another person?" Rage flares in the protagonist's eyes as they glow red. Outside of a dungeon? He questions, his intensity making the broom feel deadlier than the spear. The scene cuts abruptly to the faculty office door, shifting from the tense standoff to the quiet administrative world. Inside, teachers are gossiping. They can't believe the new special admission student already caused trouble by challenging the notorious bully Jusiok. The male teacher scoffs, assuming the student has zero talent because of his low rank. But the female teacher corrects him calmly, "No, that's not the case." She reveals the file. Kim Jun-woo was admitted as excluded from evaluation. The male teacher jumps up in pure shock, realizing this kid is a monster. Rumors are spreading like wildfire about the excluded from evaluation status, a rank reserved only for monsters, like Go Eun-chai, whose power defies measurement. The girl with glasses is baffled. If he's that strong, why class E? She doesn't realize it's the chairman's order to keep Junwoo's power under wraps. Mid-conversation, a deafening thud interrupts them, startling both the teacher and student. Go Eun bursts in, face grim. She senses something is wrong and immediately demands answers. Cold sweat runs down Eun's face as realization hits. Kim Jun-woo is in serious danger right now. Back in the fight, weapons clash violently. Jusiok grits his teeth, frustrated that his insta-kill attack just hit a wall. A blur of speed. Jun-woo, armed with nothing but a broom, perfectly parries Jusiok's barrage of shadow attacks. Jusiok panics. This is a Baron-level skill that should crush anyone, yet his opponent stands firm. What the hell is going on? Jusiok's mind breaks as he sees the truth. He's being blocked not by a weapon, but by a broken broom. The humiliation is unbearable. Sparks fly in close quarters. While Jusiok screams in rage, Junwoo's gaze is ice cold, watching him like he's a clown. Facing Jusiok's fury, Junwoo calmly lectures him. An armed skill like this isn't meant to be swung around blindly. Junwoo exposes the weapon's origin instantly. The shadow monster Korin knocks the shocked Jusiok back with a single blow. Jusiok screams in frustration. That core was a gift from his dad, his ticket to the elite class and an easy life. This weapon was his symbol of pride, guaranteeing him a future as a star hunter and a student officer. But now, this nobody dares to look down on him. Rage consumes Jusiok as he loses all reason. Suddenly, system alarms blare. An irresistible force severs the link, and Jusiok watches in horror as his weapon is ripped away. It's over. Jusiok lies on the floor in disbelief, while Junwoo stands tall, holding the stolen trident. Eyes glowing red with terrifying pressure, Junwoo looks down at the defeated bully. "Watch closely, kid. This is how you use a weapon." In an instant, a devastating purple slash tears through the night, carving a deep scar into the building itself. The students outside are terrified. The bright campus plunges into eerie darkness, as if night has fallen instantly. As the energy source is severed, the purple lightning vanishes and light returns. Suddenly, two students look down in horror. Their shadows are acting strange. It's not just strange. The shadows have gained sentience, slipping away from the students' feet like water, triggering instant panic. The shadow user Jusiok spurts blood from his nose. He desperately tries to sense his summons, but the connection is severed. The dimension is completely empty. The suffocating shadow monsters in the warehouse evaporate in an instant. The deadly crisis dissolves into thin air, leaving only eerie silence. Jusiok completely breaks down, soaked in cold sweat. He can't accept reality. His proud power was devoured instantly by his opponent. In his mind's eye, Junwoo transforms into a terrifying demon shrouded in purple smoke, his evil grin mocking Jusiok's weakness. This isn't the power source he knew. The entity before him is darker and more ancient than any monster he ever summoned. Deep in the mental realm, Junwoo shows this arrogant student true hell. The despair accumulated from countless brushes with death. In this spiritual domain, Junwoo emerges from the smoke like a king, his purple aura crushing the breath out of Jusiok. The once arrogant bully now crawls on the ground like a dog, begging for mercy, while Junwoo raises his blade high. No mercy. A massive energy slash descends. It's not physical destruction, but the total annihilation of Jusiok's mental defenses. The system chimes coldly as Junwoo initiates the sealing protocol. Purple chains tighten, forcibly disabling Jusiok's weapon skill. Back in reality, Jusiok foams at the mouth from the mental shock. Junwoo kicks him awake to deliver the final lesson. The kick is brutal. Junwoo looks down at the twitching loser and coldly commands him to wake up. Jusiok curls up like a terrified insect, face covered in snot and tears. He struggles to stand, legs trembling from sheer terror. Watching Jusiok shivering on his knees, Junwoo crosses his arms and begins his interrogation. Kid, answer me. Hunter skills and weapons are for killing monsters. Using them on people outside a dungeon, isn't that dangerous? Junwoo's voice is quiet but cutting. Jusiok nods, trembling. Junwoo's eyes narrow as he delivers the ultimatum. Use a skill on a person again, and I will break your legs for real. A simple broom floats in the air, now more terrifying to Jusiok than any legendary weapon. Under the pressure, he can only stutter his agreement. Suddenly, the blue-haired honor student Kim Jong-un, who had been watching, blocks the path. He steps up and makes a bizarre request to Junwoo. Junwoo doesn't flinch. Back turned, he coldly taunts the group, daring the fat bully to hit him with everything he's got or risk becoming a laughingstock. The bully shakes with pure rage, fists clenched tight. Junwoo stares him down with icy eyes, impatiently demanding full force to end this quickly. The bully snaps, roaring as he delivers a crushing blow. The impact sends Junwoo crashing down, blood splattering across the floor, causing terrified students to scream and scatter. Junwoo sits amidst the blood, clutching his face. The glasses girl trembles as she helps him, horrified by the brutality, while Junwoo calmly confirms the blood on the floor is his own. A student shouts, demanding everyone go to the faculty office. In the corner, the blonde girl, Go-Hyun, watches the chaos unfold with a cold, calculating gaze. Hyun suddenly takes charge, barking a sharp order for the glasses girl to take Junwoo to the infirmary. Her commanding presence leaves no room for argument. Junwoo stumbles forward, clutching his injury. Hyun questions him from behind, but he grits his teeth, focused only on getting to the infirmary to stop the bleeding. Hyun watches him, conflicted. She decides to handle matters herself, but a burning question lingers as she stares at his back. Who is this guy, really? Junwoo plays the victim, claiming he's just a weak student who got what he deserved. Hyun cuts right through his act, staring him down. Stop pretending. I saw it all. A flashback hits. She was ordered to search behind the gym. That's where she stumbled upon a shocking secret that froze her in her tracks. Peeking through the window, terror gripped her. She witnessed the unthinkable. Someone using a hunter skill outside a dungeon, directly against another human. Pure horror etches across her face. Her pupils dilate in shock, paralyzed by the brutal, illegal violence unfolding before her eyes. Back in the present, Junwoo asks why someone with her talent is in the lowest class. Hyun instantly puts up a wall, coldly telling him to mind his own business. She warns him to forget everything, looking exhausted. Then, with a heavy sigh, she drops her guard slightly and admits, "I was just like you once." Junwoo offers a sincere apology, admitting he judged her based on her status. Ahyan turns away, brushing it off, and urges him to keep moving to the infirmary. Suddenly, Ahyan cries out in desperation, "Help me! I have to get into the student council." Junwoo is stunned, warning that a nobody like him would only be a burden as a guarantor. Ahyan realizes the trap. Being her guarantor guarantees harassment. That's why no one will help an outcast like her. Her expression darkens with despair. Desperate, she asks Junwoo. He refuses instantly, claiming he has enough problems. Ahyan panics and yells after him, "I'm not asking for free. I'll do anything you want." Ahyan begs, desperate. Junwoo cuts her off, annoyed. Bleeding and exhausted, he has no patience for deals, he just needs a doctor. Under the bright blue sky, a deal is struck. When refused, the negotiator drops the ultimate bait, Go Eunchai. The name hits him like a truck. Terrified, he listens as the blonde girl explains her plan to get close to Eunchai via the student council. As she lays out the scheme, the sheer stress is too much, he literally coughs up blood. The mere idea is lethal to him. She tries to back out, but he's already snapped. Covered in blood and eyes manic, he mutters that he'll handle it himself. Panic sets in as she screams his name. Junwoo collapses, gasping his final, desperate request, "Just take me to the infirmary." The scene shifts to the conference room. Tension hangs heavy in the air as the faculty gathers for an emergency meeting regarding the assault. The teachers are furious. It's the second offense using a combat skill on a student while already under disciplinary action. With eyewitnesses present, they can't ignore it this time. All eyes turn to the chairman for the final verdict. Chairman Bae interlaces his fingers, his gaze piercing. He breaks the silence by calling on the key witness, Ms. Han. Sweating bullets, Ms. Han confirms the assault. The chairman presses on. "So, is it true that Kim Junwoo was severely beaten?" Unexpectedly, the chairman grabs his chest in sheer relief, practically thanking God. Ms. Han is totally baffled by this bizarre reaction. Instantly composing himself, he drops the hammer. Citing strict school policy, he announces the verdict, Oh Juseok is to be expelled. Suddenly, a hand shoots up. The corrupt teacher, Cha Junmin, interrupts the sentencing with a polite but firm request to speak. With a sly smile, Cha plays it down. He calls it a spirited mistake by a young boy, arguing that expulsion is far too harsh. Ms. Han snaps, shouting that someone could have died. But Cha dismisses the danger, focusing only on the bully's talent. Cha turns cold, using the future of the academy as a shield. Under his pressure, Ms. Han starts to falter, admitting the boy isn't blameless, but Cha drops his real offer, a mere 1-week suspension. The other teachers look uncomfortable, but no one dares to challenge him further. The chairman doesn't fight it. He abruptly postpones the decision and ends the meeting, a heavy silence hanging in the air. As the others leave with heavy hearts, Cha sits alone in the empty room, grinning at his phone. He thinks he's won. He answers the call, voice dripping with sycophancy. Reporting to the minister, he confirms that everything is going exactly according to their corrupt plan. The camera focuses on the ceiling, with only eerie voices floating in the air. The higher-ups are plotting to expel the special admission student, their tone dripping with condescending malice. In a dim room, a man in a suit smirks darkly into the phone. Tapping his tie, he confidently promises to take care of the kid for good during the month-end assessment. Back in the classroom, Kim Junwoo rests his chin on his hand, bored out of his mind. It's been 3 days, and he hasn't even seen a glimpse of Go Eunchai. Just as he's internally complaining about this useless class of losers, whack! Someone slaps the back of his head and mocks him as a fake, shattering his peace. 3 bullies immediately surround him. The ringleader in green sneers, demanding to know why the hotspot isn't on, and where their bread is, treating him like a servant. Junwoo lowers his head, but a creepy grin creeps across his face. On the surface, he plays the submissive errand boy, but his glowing red eyes reveal he's just watching the show. The bully loses his patience, veins popping as he screams at Junwoo to follow him. Junwoo sits motionless, the tension in the room dropping to freezing point. Cut to the hallway. The three bullies are now kneeling and trembling. Junwoo stands over them, hands in pockets, coolly asking if it hurt, while they frantically apologize. Wait, was the bullying an act? The trio is terrified, claiming they were just making it realistic as ordered. Junwoo ignores their excuses and coldly demands the intel he asked for. Junwoo's expression turns terrifying when they hesitate. Trembling, they barely manage to stutter that Go-eun-chai rarely comes to school, an answer that clearly disappoints him. Desperate to be useful, the green hoodie guy stammers that she's only close to Kim Jong-un. Hearing that name, Junwoo's gaze shifts. He's found his lead. Junwoo immediately demands to know where he is, but the bully scratches his head in despair. He doesn't come to school much either. Dead end. Fed up, Junwoo shoos the incompetent trio away. As they scramble off promising to do better next time, he rubs his forehead and lets out a heavy sigh. A blonde girl who's been watching steps up. Junwoo crosses his arms in annoyance. His little undercover investigation plan clearly failed, and he's not in the mood. He grumbles about how hard it is to meet someone, asking if student council members are royalty. The girl looks him dead in the eye. Yes, it really is that big of a deal. She explains that they aren't just students, they're officially recognized hunters. Junwoo listens to this lecture on hierarchy with a look that screams, "So what?" She keeps going, mentioning their immense influence, how even teachers fear them, and their deployment on real missions. To her, they are the untouchable elites of the school. Since normal methods won't work, she desperately asks for another way. Junwoo shuts her down immediately, cold and firm in his refusal. She begs to know why he won't help. Junwoo turns his back and delivers a brutal reality check. You said you need status and skill to get in? Sadly, you have neither. The blonde girl, desperate to get stronger, begs for lessons, but Junwoo just throws his head back and laughs in her face. His laughter dies instantly, replaced by a terrifying purple aura, as he warns her that his training is a death sentence. Turning her back, but clenching her fists, the blonde girl scoffs, questioning why he's aiming for the student council when it's out of his league. Elsewhere, faced with cold rejection, the silver-haired girl breaks down, sobbing that she'd rather die than fail to join the student council. Desperation overtakes her as she screams, begging to be taught anything skills, martial arts, promising to endure any hellish training. Junwoo tries to walk away as break ends, but the girl chases right after him, leaving him annoyed by her persistence. Watching her from the window, Junwoo smiles. Seeing such desperate eyes reminds him of the past, and he realizes she might be useful after all. Back in Class 1E, the gentle homeroom teacher wraps up the lesson, reminding everyone about the upcoming monthly written evaluation. The teacher is cut off mid-sentence as the classroom door slides open, and an uninvited student boldly interrupts the homeroom session. With a confident smile, the intruder marches to the podium, slams his hand down, and announces a sudden change to the monthly evaluation. He casually drops a bombshell. Written exams are canceled, replaced by a practical exam in a real dungeon, leaving the class in utter shock. In the faculty office, Ms. Han Yubin loses her composure, screaming in horror that throwing students into a practical exam is insanity. She argues furiously, insisting that sending first-semester students, especially the underdogs of Class E, into a dungeon is a death sentence. But the administration coldly dismisses her concerns, using educational reform as an excuse to mask what is clearly a purge of the weaker students. To the higher-ups, these students are just diploma chasers, and this brutal exam is designed to force them to face the harsh reality of being a hunter. The mastermind smirks, revealing his hidden agenda. While regular students can quit, this entire setup is a trap specifically designed for the special admission student. Returning to the podium, he delivers a thinly veiled threat with a smile. skipping the exam means expulsion, and he will personally supervise their suffering. Jung-woo instantly smells a rat. A mere teacher implies a powerful backer, someone high up targeting him specifically. The scene cuts to the chairman's office, where Minister Oh Myung-jin is sweating profusely, clearly cornered and being blackmailed. The tension in the car is suffocating as the high-ranking minister kneels on the seat, trembling and apologizing profusely to the relaxed young man. Jung-woo snaps, cutting off the whining. He demands a weapon, but the gray-haired man plays the victim, claiming he's defenseless to avoid trouble. Jun-woo's cold stare pierces through him. Sweating buckets, the older man frantically pleads that such dangerous weapons are obsolete and forbidden. Jung-woo smirks, realizing the deception. With a sharp snap of his fingers, he calls out the lie, sending the older man into a panic of denial. Jung-woo raises his hand, revealing a ring glowing with blue energy. A mocking smile plays on his lips as he presents the undeniable proof. The older man freezes in terror, eyes wide. It's the ring of Patelis. His deepest secret has been exposed. A trembling hand clutches the glowing silver ring tight. The sheer power of the artifact resonates in the silence. The older man stares at the relic in disbelief. Jun-woo casually remarks that he's kept it merely out of habit since the former leader's death. Memories of bloody battles from his youth flood back. But Jun-woo cuts the nostalgia short, demanding he hand over the ring immediately. Jun-woo snatches the ring with a swift motion. He grins, prize in hand, leaving the older official sighing in defeat. The old man warns it's weak, merely earrank. Jun-woo dismisses the concern for a student exam. This is more than enough firepower. Jun-woo heads for the door. The official warns him to stay away due to prying eyes, but Jun-woo exits without even a backward glance. Scene shifts to the school hallway. Teacher Cha stands in the shadows, face grim, plotting his next move. He knocks on the student council door. A sound from within catches him off guard, sparking a look of surprise. The door swings open. The teacher steps in, only to be startled. It's not who he expected, but Kim Jong-un sitting there. Jong-un questions his presence. The teacher scoffs, insulted. I'm a teacher. I go where I please. Don't get cocky just because you're on the council. Suppressing his rage, the teacher marches toward the desk. He grits his teeth. He has to endure this insolence for the plan. He slams his hand on the desk. The monthly evaluation is now a combat exam, and the student council must send a supervisor. Jong-un keeps typing, barely listening. Jong-un pauses. A combat exam? The teacher smirks, expecting a yes, but Jong-un shuts him down cold. Can't do it. My schedule is full. Then get someone else. The teacher snaps. Jong-un shrugs it off. Everyone's busy. The teacher's patience snaps. He's running out of options. The office is tense. The corrupt teacher screams at Go Eun-chai to cancel the exam, but she just types away, hitting him with cold sarcasm. He yells about how much he supported her in the past, but she shuts him down, instantly reminding him her grandfather holds the real leash. Just as the teacher loses it, Kim Jong-un barges in with a sunny smile, freezing the room and forcing the teacher to swallow his rage. Jong-un casually asks why he's there. The teacher, sweating bullets, lies that Go Eun-chai is too busy to evaluate the exams. Jong-un seizes the chance, flashing a grin and volunteering himself since he's also on the council, trapping the teacher in his own lie. Annoyed but cornered, the teacher orders him to handle the paperwork elsewhere. Jong-un happily complies, knowing he's won. Before leaving, Jong-un checks with Eun-chai. She coolly claims she's dropping out of the task, feigning complete disinterest. Eun-chai shoots him a sharp look, asking why he's suddenly helping a teacher he clearly despises. Jong-un drops the smile, his expression deepening. He admits he's not helping, he's just keeping a close watch on him. His real target is the new special admissions student, the guy who humiliated the school bully on day one. Jong-un recalls his investigation. The new guy isn't just lucky. He's systematically dismantled Oh Jusiot publicly. He leans in with the kicker. Turns out, just like you, He's exempt from the standard evaluation. With a sly grin, he baits her. Doesn't that make you curious about who he really is? Meanwhile, on the field, Jun-woo scans the ranks, noticing a suspicious number of students missing from classes C and D. While the elite classes are fully present, Jun-woo realizes with a sigh that his class is empty. He's been deliberately isolated. He spots the outcast Go-Ahyun in the corner and frowns. "What are you doing here?" Jun-woo snaps, his voice harsh. "You think a dungeon is a joke? With your weak skill, you'll just get yourself killed." But the usually timid girl stands her ground, eyes burning. "I don't care. I have to make the student council, even if I die trying." Their argument is cut short by the instructor shouting the rules. Anyone aiming for the student council cannot afford a failing grade. The format is set, groups of 8, low-risk dungeon. It sounds safe, but the tension in the air suggests otherwise. The instructor introduces the student council member assisting with the exam. Heavy boots hit the ground. Someone important has arrived. It's Kim Jong-un. He beams a bright smile and waves enthusiastically, instantly turning the students into cheering fans. Hearing Kim Jong-un's name, Jong-un pauses, finding it familiar. Meanwhile, the teams are announced. Class E is forced to merge with Class D. Jun-woo instantly switches to acting mode, greeting his teammates with fake excitement that barely masks a hidden threat. The Class D students look disgusted, clearly annoyed at being stuck with the losers from Class E. They decide to pretend Jun-woo and Ahyun don't exist. Ahyun tries to apologize, but Jun-woo cuts her off cold. No need to waste breath on them. The purple-haired guy impatiently asks for dungeon intel. Jun-woo doesn't hesitate and hands it over immediately. He excitedly shows the tablet to his team, but they all just stare at the screen in confused silence. Something's wrong. Chaos erupts instantly. Unable to understand the intel, they turn on Jun-woo, accusing him of being a fraud before the mission even starts. The instructors stand at the cave entrance, telling the students to figure out their own tactics, clearly enjoying the show. The goal is simple: enter the portal and kill the boss. The instructor calls it nothing special, but his smirk suggests otherwise. Staring at the dark entrance, the teammates break into a cold sweat, terrified but with no choice but to move forward. With the command given, the four step into the blinding light. The unpredictable trial has officially begun. Entering the cave, the purple-haired leader checks his tablet, scoffing at the classic monster setup as if it's child's play. Suddenly, the ground shakes violently. The blue-haired guy freezes in terror as a menacing red glow erupts from the darkness. Rats. Hundreds of red-eyed demon rats rain down from the ceiling, their screeching instantly tearing through the air. Panic sets in. Someone screams monsters ahead as the team scrambles to draw weapons, the system unlocking combat permissions. While his teammates fight desperately for their lives, the purple-haired leader stands back, arms crossed, coldly assessing their skills. No choice but to fight. The blonde mage blasts wind magic, while the sniper pulls back his slingshot, unleashing everything they have. Transfer student Jun-woo stops holding back, activating berserker mode and charging in with a roar. The redhead nearby is in trouble, sweating bullets as the beast forces him back. Chaos erupts with screams everywhere. Jun-woo looks on helplessly at these rookies. Watching them blindly spam skills makes Jun-woo shake his head in disappointment. The only bright spot appears Go-Ahyun, the outcast, unleashes her azure flame. Blue flames instantly engulf the wolf, incinerating it amidst blood-curdling screams. Even the arrogant heiress Go-Eun-chai is stunned by the control of an E-class student. Her technique is raw but talented. Meanwhile, the others are already gasping for air. Before they can catch their breath, a massive shadow descends, freezing the student in fear. Jun-woo narrows his eyes and flicks a finger, launching a super-compressed pebble like a bullet. Boom! A casual flick triggers a terrifying explosion, leaving the student completely dumbfounded. Jun-woo warns him to conserve mana, but the guy's ego takes over, telling him to back off. The idiots mock Jun-woo for stealing points, but one person realizes the truth: he just saved them. Barely at the entrance, these sheltered kids are already exhausted and questioning their life choices. Junwoo face bombs in disbelief. They were nearly killed and didn't even notice. Hopeless. Looking at these failures, Junwoo makes a call. The only one worth using right now is Go Ian. He wants to ditch this dead weight and go solo, but Junwoo senses something is wrong. This place is off. He confronts the supervising teacher about the abnormal monster density, but the guy is completely clueless. Faced with valid questions, the suit-wearing supervisor gets defensive, pulling rank to shut him down. If the higher-ups won't act, he will. Junwoo roars out, forcibly taking command to stop the madness. A suffocating silence hangs in the air. The big shots watch like hawks, and the exhausted students dare not make a sound. The suit guy sneers, barking at the purple-haired leader. "Quit if you're tired. Don't drag the others down." Swallowing his anger, the class leader turns to his team, his gaze softening as he whispers, "Don't worry too much." He swears to protect them, standing tall. "I'm on the student council, trust me. I'll take the lead if danger strikes." Despite his brave words, he stands alone on the ledge, brows furrowed, hiding his own deep hesitation. Back to the present, they finally made it. Exhausted but eyes shining with excitement, they reach the destination. The massive gate looms ahead. The boss room. A wave of cold, oppressive tension washes over them. Everyone freezes in fear before the door even opens. The MC watches them, shaking his head at their pathetic cowardice. Someone volunteers nervously, but the blonde girl insists on teamwork. The MC just shrugs, looking bored. The blonde girl snaps, asking if he's mocking their fear. He just smirks and scoffs, not bothering to deny it. With a thunderous rumble, the gates grind open. Blinding blue light spills out, and everyone holds their breath. But as their eyes adjust, shock hits them hard. Their pupils dilate in terror. Something is terribly wrong. The terrifying boss they expected to fight is already lying in a pool of blood, stone dead. Total confusion. This is an active dungeon. How is the boss dead? The tech guy confirms no one else has been here. A student checks the corpse, trembling in terror. He stammers out the MC's name, sensing a horrifying truth. Suddenly, alarms blare. "Dungeon interference!" The command, "Retreat," screams across the screen. Crisis imminent. Panic erupts. Without knowing why, everyone turns and runs for their lives as chaos takes over the squad. The leader screams from the back. "Damn it! It's an intrusion! Run!" 1 second of hesitation means certain death. As they flee, they cast one last terrified look at the massive corpse, the heavy scent of blood choking them. Then, true despair strikes. A terrifying wolf beast tears through the darkness, snarling at a student who collapses in fear. Panic erupts in the corridor. Students scream and scramble. It's a dreaded dungeon interference. One guy is losing his mind, but the class rep tries to stay calm and assess the chaos. The blonde girl stifles a scream while the guy beside her grits his teeth. The worst-case scenario is here. A low growl echoes from the dark. A massive three-tailed feline blocks their path. A green-rank boss. The blue-haired guy stares in horror. A high-level boss in a low-level dungeon? This is an absolute disaster. They scream and scramble for the exit, but the ground shakes as a massive claw smashes down, blocking their path. With a deafening boom, the giant wolf monster bursts from the earth, its terrifying presence bringing everyone to their knees. Just as hope fades, Kim Jong-un steps up to shield the team. Finally, the support system goes online. Facing the beast alone, sweat dripping down his face, he gets the notification. C-rank skill unlocked. It's time to fight. Golden energy surges through him, wrapping his right arm in searing power. He can feel the strength overflowing. Jong-un crosses his arms and erupts with blinding light. Skill activated at full power, crazy porcupine. But internally, he's panicking, secretly pleading with Kim Jong-woo. "Hey! It's a green boss. I can't do this alone." Help me! Meanwhile, a blonde guy yells at Junwoo, clueless. Aren't you a special admit? Why are you just standing there? Do something. Kim Junwoo remains expressionless, his gaze cold. He ignores the shouting, guarding a secret he can't reveal. Flashback to the entrance exam. His power was so immense it broke the scale, triggering a red unmeasurable alert. He tried to convince the teacher to fake the results, but the man was a stickler for rules and refused to budge. The teacher claimed no one would notice, but now it's a huge target on his back. Junwoo regrets being too soft back then. Back to reality. Since he can't blow his cover, Junwoo decides to intervene secretly, supporting Jonghyun through the system. On the battlefield, the vicious wolf lunges but suddenly freezes for a split second, revealing a fatal opening. Jonghyun doesn't ask questions. He sees the chance, lets out a wild laugh, and charges straight in for the kill. The purple beast goes berserk, roaring with bloodlust as it prepares to lunge. Before he can react, the student gets swatted away, screaming in agony as he's sent flying through the air. He digs his fingers into the ground to stop his momentum, eyes glowing as golden energy erupts around him. In a flash, he's standing right on the beast's head. The monster roars in fury, but can't shake him off. The onlookers are stunned, praising Kim Jong-un's power while mocking the special student for just hopping around uselessly. Resentment boils over. They think Junwoo is freeloading, and one student grits his teeth, furious at the unfairness. Jonghyun launches an aerial attack, but feels confused. Why is this so easy? The unnatural smoothness makes him break into a cold sweat. This should be a tough boss, but it's acting like a punching bag. He realizes someone is serving this victory to him on a silver platter. While sprinting at full speed, a thought strikes him. Could it be that lazy special student behind all this? Meanwhile, another student is cornered. The monster's jaws snap open, and the victim screams in pure terror. Just in time, Junwoo strikes from the shadows, launching an explosive flick to intercept the monster's attack. The monster stumbles back. Jonghyun finally realizes, every time the beast tries to move, that skill cancels its attack instantly. Jonghyun is terrified by the realization. Breaking the monster's balance like that is theoretically impossible. Who the hell is this guy? Putting his doubts aside, he focuses on the hunt. He grits his teeth and accelerates, determined to finish the monster off. He dives from the sky, delivering a crushing kick to the monster's weak point. A massive explosion erupts with his battle cry. Critical hit. One monster's face is crushed, and another is skewered by a blade of light, silenced before it can even scream. The battle ends. Jonghyun stands panting over the corpses, while his teammates stare in awe, unaware of who the real Carrie was. While his teammates shower him with praise, Jonghyun smiles nervously, thinking, that was way too close to repeating the nightmare from 2 years ago. The shady teacher smirks from the shadows. He thinks he's caught Junwoo slacking off and finally has an excuse to expel him. Suddenly, panic erupts. Wait! It's still alive! A girl screams in terror, desperately warning the special student to get back. Blinded by greed, he reckless charges in to steal the glory, ignoring his teammates' warning. Obsessed with the final kill score, the blue-haired student's eyes glow with premature victory. But he miscalculated. The beast isn't dead. It roars back to life right in his face, freezing him in terror. Watching the disaster unfold, his teammate screams in frustration, "You idiot!" The price of arrogance is instant. The massive beast crashes down, crushing the student's defense in a split second. Blood sprays into the air. Screams of agony replace their confidence as reality bites hard. Witnessing the massacre, pure terror takes over. His face twists in horror, throat tearing with a desperate scream. Even the elite senior is down? The girl screams for everyone to run, panic descending as hope collapses. Go-Ahyun stands paralyzed. If the strongest student was wiped out instantly, what can she possibly do? Suddenly, the bloodthirsty beast turns its gaze, locking eyes with the trembling girl. Stay calm. Ahyun forces herself to breathe, remembering the beast's fierce fire, desperate to fight back. But her courage shatters instantly. Crushed by overwhelming fear, she gasps for air, unable to move a muscle. Her hands won't stop shaking. Frozen in despair, she watches helplessly as the fatal attack hurtles toward her. Just then, a figure steps through the smoke. No fancy moves, just a single, explosive finger flick. Boom! With just that flick, the massive beast is blasted backward by sheer, unreasonable force. Ahayan stares blankly, mind unable to process the sight. Is that kind of power even human? It's him. The quiet transfer student, Kim Jun-woo, standing there with a terrifyingly calm aura. Elsewhere, the rampaging beast continues its slaughter, tossing students aside like ragdolls. But amidst the chaos, Ahayan can only look up. In her eyes, Kim Jun-woo stands tall, a god of war descending. Suddenly, Jun-woo senses something sharp. He hears his name being called from the distance, and the atmosphere instantly tightens. Before anyone can react, impact erupts. A bloodied wolf monster is blasted into the air, thrashing in pain. The blonde girl screams his name in panic, warning him. Jun-woo doesn't hesitate, he spins around instantly, ready for action. A gruesome memory flashes a comrade down in a pool of blood. The gut-wrenching helplessness and agony assault his nerves once again. History won't repeat itself. Jun-woo grabs a panicked student by the collar, roaring at them to fall back, forcibly taking command. Looking at the trembling group behind him, Jun-woo feels a pang of regret. His split-second hesitation nearly caused a disaster. That was his mistake. Rain pours as the giant wolf roars deafeningly. Jun-woo stands alone before the beast, his eyes turning cold. No more hesitation. Facing the overwhelming beast, Jun-woo takes his stance. His blade hums with energy, his resolve to kill solidified. The monster lunges with its claws, but Jun-woo is ready. Energy spears slice through the rain, striking head-on. He channels all his power, purple lightning crackling wildly around his fist. Ultra-high compression strike activated. Boom! The punch connects squarely with the wolf's face. Exploding energy mixes with scattered blood in a display of pure violence. Even with its face smashed in, the beast still roars. Jun-woo blocks with one hand, staying alert for the counterattack. Then stay down. Jun-woo becomes a demon in the rain, unleashing a torrential barrage of lethal punches, giving no quarter. Amidst the chaos, a pink ring floats silently in the rainy night, radiating an eerie and mysterious aura. Inside the safety shield, the students and teachers watch in stunned silence, jaws dropped in total disbelief at the spectacle. The supervising official sweats profusely, staring at the demon-like boy on the screen, terrified that this is no ordinary special admission. The official suddenly realizes it and screams, "That's a supernatural weapon. Does this maniac know using that thing is suicide?" Facing the crushing fist descending on him, Jun-woo just lies there and scoffs. The price? The penalty? He knows it better than anyone. True artifacts demand a price, sometimes even the user's life. But Jun-woo doesn't care. They are strong, and that is enough. Unlike these modern arc bracelets, safe and penalty-free, sure, but they're just toys borrowing a monster's power. The truth about supernatural weapons is revealed. They aren't just gear. They maximize the monster's core into a god-tier arsenal. Jun-woo critiques the current generation's reliance on skills while staring down the beast. The monster roars, radiating pure threat. The blonde hunter screams a warning, but the wolf monster is already lunging, its claws slashing down with explosive energy. Suddenly, the monster pauses, confused. A system window flashes. Weapon ability activated, ultra-high compression strike. Before the beast can react, Jun-woo transforms into a spinning blue drill, charging head-on with tearing force. Look at that speed. Jun-woo moves like a bullet, eyes sharp, sprinting full force with zero hesitation. Gritting his teeth and wrapped in a blue aura, he pushes the power of this strike to its absolute limit. Boom! The explosive kick connects squarely with the monster's face, shattering the ground beneath. That's gotta hurt. The shockwave is massive. Kim Jong-un gets blown backward, screaming as he crashes, while his teammate watches in shock. The battle ends, but a creepy vibe settles in. The system announces the penalty of the Patelis ring, the Devourer of Fear, is here. Jung-woo stands in the dark as a giant eye opens behind him, staring intently. The suffocating pressure is instant. Red warning lights flash. A grotesque spectral beast manifests in the void, the monster that feasts on fear itself. Jung-woo knows exactly what this is. An ancient nightmare that becomes invincible the moment anyone feels fear. The rule is simple: the first to fear dies. While Jung-woo is calm, the students around him are already paralyzed with terror. The illusion fades to a harsh reality. Kim Jong-un collapses in Jung-woo's arms, losing blood fast. He's in critical condition. Lives are at stake. Jung-woo screams at the man in the suit, demanding the walkie-talkie to contact headquarters immediately. Intimidated by Jung-woo's intensity, the man shakily hands over the device. Jung-woo snatches it, his eyes cold as ice. Dripping with sweat, Jung-woo professionally reports to HQ, using specific injury codes that no ordinary student should know. HQ confirms rescue, but the teacher is suspicious. How does an E-class special admission know these internal codes and protocols? Jung-woo snaps. Someone is dying, and they care about ID. He unleashes a thunderous roar at the bureaucratic incompetence blocking his way. The rage boils over. Jung-woo grinds his teeth and unleashes a vicious punch, sending the suit-wearing supervisor flying. A long-awaited release. Before the man can recover, Jung-woo roars, questioning his competence. When the teacher tries to pull rank, Jung-woo's lethal glare shuts him down instantly. Jung-woo looks like a demon unleashed. His overwhelming pressure breaks the teacher's spirit, leaving the man trembling in silence, too terrified to speak. Reinforcements finally arrive at the forest entrance. Staff members stare in shock at the devastation, stunned by the brutality of the scene. Chairman Bae rushes in, checking on his old friend with genuine concern. But Jung-woo remains silent, struggling to contain the lingering rage. Bae sighs. Jung-woo's cover is blown. But Jung-woo ignores the politics, furious that the teachers knowingly sent unprepared students to their deaths. Unable to accept the absurdity, Jung-woo spins around, eyes piercing with rage. Do you really think this makes sense? He demands. He delivers a cold ultimatum to his old friend. Next time, I won't just stand by. Bae freezes, terrified by the return of that legendary pressure. His eyes burn with ancient violence. Don't make me go back to my active days, he warns, threatening to unleash the monster he once was. Chairman Bae drops the nice guy act. He glares at Teacher Cha, demanding an explanation for forcefully changing the exam rules. Cha keeps spitting lies about educational equality, desperately trying to deflect blame. Bae listens with disgust, seeing right through the pathetic excuses. Bae explodes. You did this to get rid of Kim Jong-woo. Cha's composure shatters instantly. He never expected the chairman to know the truth. Panic sets in, but Cha desperately clings to bureaucracy, claiming he followed protocol. Bae stares him down, barely holding back his rage. Enough! Bae smashes his fist onto the desk. The problem isn't the protocol, it's your reckless decision to force a live combat test. Bae argues that normal students would fail, but Cha finds a loophole. With a smirk, he counters, but Jung-woo got the top score, didn't he? Bae sits back, fuming, as Cha skillfully shifts the blame. He frames the entire disaster as a natural occurrence, washing his hands of responsibility. Cha plays his trump card with a twisted grin. Besides, he sneers, didn't you approve this test yourself, Chairman? Checkmate. Bae falls silent, struggling with the realization that he's cornered. He closes his eyes and forces out. Understood. File the report. Cha bows respectfully, but as he turns away, his face twists into a sinister sneer. He's won this round, and he's not done yet. The black-haired man glares, dropping the truth. He doesn't fear Minister Oh, but the name that truly terrifies him is Kim Jun-woo. Sitting in the shadows, Minister Oh clasps his hands and admits, the Kim Jun-woo from 40 years ago is his living nightmare. Bae Wushik looks confused, but the minister is past explaining. He despairingly admits that if history repeats itself, he'll be powerless. Hearing this, Bae Wushik breaks into a cold sweat, feeling an unprecedented, suffocating pressure standing before the closed door. Alone in the empty hallway, he stands frozen, weighed down by the heavy silence before the storm. Meanwhile, Teacher Cha wipes his sweat while reporting to his superior. He claims it's handled internally, but he's clearly shaken. The mysterious figure on the phone speaks coldly, noting Kim Jong-un's minor injuries and digging up dirt on his corrupt father. Teacher Cha gets increasingly agitated, scolding the person on the other end for the special admission student's poor performance. He questions bluntly, does that student actually have any skill? Was giving away that special admission slot a mistake? The voice drops the pretense, bringing up the Parents Association and implying the student council list is already fixed, forcing Cha's hand. It turns out the teacher was talking to the bully, Oh Juseok. He smirks wickedly, manipulating the teacher with ease. Before hanging up, the bully offers some fake comfort. Teacher Cha stares out the window, forced to agree and play along. Juseok stares at his phone, his fake smile vanishing. He's terrified of Junwoo's power. That guy is definitely not just a normal student. Remembering the warning that Junwoo is stronger than veteran hunters, the bully breaks into a cold sweat, realizing he cannot afford to fail. Fear turns into murderous intent. Gripping his phone in the dark, he vows to crush Kim Jun-woo, no matter the cost. Cut to the hospital. Kim Jun-woo sits on the bed, injured but sharp-eyed, calmly remarking, "This will sting." But the moment the nurse touches him, the legendary hero breaks character, screaming in pain and losing all his cool. Go-Ahein mocks him for being a baby. Jun-woo snaps back, but internally he's worried. His body is reacting too poorly to the artifact. They bicker immediately. Jun-woo tries to shoo her away in annoyance, unless she agrees to help him join the student council. But Go-Ahein stands firm, coldly rejecting him. She wants nothing to do with the trouble that follows him. A knock at the door. It's Ahein visiting Jong-yun. Seeing he's moved rooms, her expression softens from tension to genuine concern. Jong-yun leans back, sweating from pain, yet cracks a joke about not dying to mask the agony his body is in. The conversation turns to the brutal practical exam. Rumor has it a student dropped out immediately after, hinting at a bloody, violent incident. Turns out Jong-yun was hurt saving someone. The survivor kneels in tears, crushed by guilt for running away while his savior paid the price. Standing by the window, Jong-yun quotes his father with steel in his eyes, "As long as you don't die, you'll get through it. Pure resilience." Jun-woo watches silently, moved. This kid sacrificed an arm to save a junior. He's the spitting image of that legendary one-armed hero. Hearing the phrase, "as long as you don't die," Ahein freezes. Those words strike a deep chord, flooding her eyes with complex emotions. Sentiment aside, Jong-yun drops a hard truth. Joining the student council is rigged. Ahein fears it's discrimination against her Class E status. It's worse. Jong-yun reveals a shadowy group. No one talks about the Parents Association. They are the puppet masters behind the scenes. The math is too perfect. 5 influential parents in the association, corresponding exactly to 5 of their children attending the school. It clicks instantly. The student council has exactly 5 spots per grade. It's not an election. It's a prearranged coronation for the elite. The truth is sickening. Shadowy silhouettes of powerful parents divided the spoils long ago. Ordinary students never stood a chance. Ahein demands to know what happens to rivals. The backup candidate trembles as he admits, anyone in the way gets removed. The darkest fear is confirmed removal isn't just expulsion. Students have literally died during the selection process. Horror washes over them. Realizing the lethal stakes, Jong-yun urges Ahein to quit the race. It's no longer about ambition, it's about staying alive. Suddenly, the timid Ahian snaps. She screams her refusal to quit, realizing that backing down means letting these murderers win. Ahian yells at Junwoo for his silence. He hates the corruption too, but he's torn. Stopping the apocalypse takes priority over fixing the school. Junwoo steels himself. He can't get distracted, but he needs to meet one person first. Go Eun-chae. She is the key to his plan. Speak of the devil. Junwoo casually drops a bomb. Go Eun-chae is coming to visit him right now. The girl's jaws hit the floor. Junwoo crouches behind the wall, eyes lighting up. Seeing Do Eun-chae walk right into his trap feels like a gift from fate. Wearing his loud floral shirt and a confident smirk, he steps out casually, acting as if nothing is wrong. The air freezes instantly. Eun-chae glares with suspicion, while the brunette next to her stiffens, paralyzed with shock. Old wounds reopen. 2 years ago, Eun-chae told her to quit. Now, they face off, the past hanging heavy between them. Eun-chae demands answers, voice sharp. The brunette doesn't flinch, her gaze burning with defiance. I've already enrolled. Junwoo watches from the sidelines, realizing this isn't just a rivalry, it's a deep grudge fueling her ambition for the student council. From the shadows, sharp eyes watch every move. The tension is palpable. Schemes are already in motion. Cut to the hospital. Ahian shuts down the conversation cold, muttering nothing left to say as she turns her back on them. Eun-chae asks if she's hurt, but Ahian scoffs internally. Such concern feels fake and hypocritical after everything. In the hospital room, Junwoo tries to break the ice between Jong-eun and Ahian, but the tension is thick enough to choke on. It's pure torture. Caught between their icy glares, Junwoo screams internally, I need to escape before I suffocate. Junwoo decides to bail. He makes a quick excuse to leave, forcing the two rivals to deal with their mess alone. As Junwoo waves goodbye and escapes, the remaining two walk side by side in a silence louder than words. The hallway feels miles wide. They stand apart, the oppressive silence pushing away anyone who might dare to pass. Ahian snaps, turning to confront him. What is your problem with me? Jong-eun freezes, sweat trickling down his face. Elsewhere, Junwoo frantically calculates how to approach Eun-chae. She cuts him off. Heard you soloed the boss? Junwoo tries to play dumb, crediting Jong-eun. Eun-chae rolls her eyes. Cut the crap. Jong-eun isn't that strong. She locks eyes with him, sharp and calculating. Hiding your strength like that, aren't you a bit full of yourself? Junwoo smiles innocently at the provocation. Just want to be friends. Eun-chae stays ice cold. You want a seat on the council? Accused of climbing the social ladder, Junwoo drops the smile instantly. His gaze turns razor sharp. I couldn't care less about that. Eun-chae glares daggers, warning the guy to keep Go Ahian out of his schemes, no matter what he's planning to get on the council. The guy scoffs, dropping a bombshell. Ahian is the one desperate to join the student council, leaving Eun-chae completely stunned. He pushes his luck mentioning her grandfather, but before he can finish, Eun-chae's fist connects, instantly shutting him up. Eun-chae seizes him by the collar, furiously demanding to know if Ahian is seeking revenge, while the guy sweats in pure panic. Giving him no room to breathe, the violent goddess pins him against the wall, raising her knee for a brutal follow-up. A vicious knee strike lands, doubling him over in agony. Eun-chae moves like lightning, already pivoting for the next attack. The knee slams into his gut with sickening force. His face twists in agony, looking like he's about to throw up. He hits the floor, gasping for air. Eun-chae towers over him, her eyes filled with cold mockery. He tries to fight back but realizes she's absurdly fast. Her skills are way above a student, rivaling even the dungeon management team. Her speed defies logic. He finally realizes he severely underestimated this crazy woman's combat power. Eun-chae dominates the fight, landing precise, brutal hits. He's baffled. Why didn't she show this kind of power during public events? Before he can react, she rushes him with overwhelming pressure, leaving him terrified and defenseless. With his arm twisted behind his back, he screams this is against the rules, only to be met with Yunchi's cold indifference. When he questions the rules, Eunchai sarcastically praises his adaptability, then shifts the topic to his clumsy performance in the last subjugation. She tears away the facade. Here, subjugation isn't about winning, it's a performance designed solely to entertain the crowd. Hearing this, he grits his teeth, eyes wide with shock and rage. The twisted reality of their world makes him sick. Back in the hospital, Eunchai reveals her true motive. She wants to use his family connections to snag some weapons from Support HQ. He rejects her immediately, looking at her like she's insane. That's impossible, he shoots back without hesitation. He desperately explains that his stubborn grandfather won't listen to anything, while the tension scares off a nearby nurse. He starts to lose it, shouting in frustration, but Eunchai instantly pins him down, sternly warning him not to cause a scene. A sharp slap echoes. Eunchai walks away without looking back, leaving only a cold "see you again." She draws the line she never wants to see him again. He watches her leave, knowing it won't be that simple. The label Go Sukta's granddaughter hangs in the air. The very reason he approached her is now the wall between them. Back at the ward, a hand rests on the door handle. A deep breath before facing the music. The air in the room is heavy. The visitor delivers the bad news. Eunchai didn't take the bait. At the mention of Go Suktu, the patient breaks into a cold sweat. It's not family love, it's pure terror. They hit a dead end. Eunchai never asks the old man for anything. Their plan has collapsed. The old man's aura is inhuman. He hesitates, too terrified to even speak his name aloud in this room. The visitor mocks his naivety with a sneer. But then, a shift in tone, a darker, more ruthless bait is offered. What if Go Ian drops out? The words hit like a bomb. This is the ruthless leverage they needed. Eunchai hates her sister. If they force Go Ian out, Eunchai might just agree to the deal. A dirty conspiracy is born. Shoo! Silence cuts in instantly. Footsteps outside. Someone is listening. Cut to the campus grounds. Kim Jong-un sits alone on a bench, drink in hand, weighed down by solitude. The toxic plan echoes in his mind. He's desperate for the student council seat, standing on the edge of a moral cliff. His only goal is revenge against Go Suktu. Yet, beneath the hatred, a flicker of hesitation fights to surface. He can't do it alone. He desperately needs the outlier, Kim Jong-woo, his only lifeline in this mess. A bitter laugh escapes him. Reality bites. There is absolutely no reason for the strong to help the weak. Left to fend for himself again? Just as he accepts his fate, a sound breaks the silence. Kim Jong-woo steps in. He looks down at the moping student and cuts straight to the bone. Who do you think you are, looking so pathetic? Rocking his signature pajamas, Jong-woo casually asks if she's heading home. Ah-hyun keeps her head down, clearly not in the mood to chat. Jong-woo sighs and drops a bomb. Thinking of dropping out? Ah-hyun freezes, her eyes widening in pure shock at being exposed. Seeing her panic, Jong-woo just smirks. He played her like a fiddle. He knew exactly how she'd react. Then comes the second shocker. I just fought Go Eunchai. Hearing her perfect sister got into a brawl leaves Ah-hyun stammering in disbelief. Jong-woo stretches and yawns. Being nice is too much work. Time to switch tactics. If persuasion fails, threats will work wonders. Just imagining Go Eunchai's superior attitude, that look of pure disgust in her saying, "Gross," echoes in the air. Jong-woo scoffs. Threaten her? You joking? Like you could ever find a weakness on someone like that. Ah-hyun sweats, unable to argue back. While she's confused, Jong-woo points a finger straight at her chest. Listen up. You are her biggest weakness. He breaks it down. Eunchai is the family's golden child. Ah-hyun, the illegitimate outcast, is a living scandal waiting to blow up their reputation. Why would she care about a classy nobody like you? Jung-woo's words cut deep, leaving Ah-hyun gritting her teeth in frustrated silence. Seeing her on the verge of tears, Jong-woo twists the knife. She wants you gone because she's scared. Scared you might actually take her place. A Hyun snaps, yelling back through tears. Stop it! I know my limits. Junwoo just turns calmly. Doesn't make sense? Then make it make sense. Junwoo's gaze sharpens, radiating absolute confidence. I'll give you the power to threaten her. We'll turn the impossible into reality. Seeing her hesitation, Junwoo throws down the gauntlet. What? Scared? No confidence in yourself? Pushed to the edge, a Hyun finally snaps. She looks up and screams, no! I can do it! The fear in her eyes is replaced by fire. Hearing the answer he wanted, Junwoo instantly drops the act. Good. That settles it then. His mood shifts in a heartbeat. He gets straight to business. Fair warning, time is tight. Starting tomorrow, we go all out. Be ready. The goal is clear. Get a Hyun into the student council as a candidate before the second semester starts. It's a massive gamble. Junwoo walks away, his back radiating danger. As for that parent association, one of those guys is going down first. Watching him leave, a Hyun blushes, whispering his name. This man and his crazy plan just turned her world upside down. With tears streaming down her face, the silver-haired girl cries out a heartfelt thank you, her flushed cheeks revealing the depth of her gratitude for being saved. After a casual wave goodbye, the scene shifts to the exterior of a high-end sushi restaurant, setting the stage for an exclusive gathering. The father laughs heartily, claiming he's worried his son got soft in Class A, but his beaming face screams pure pride. The feast lies untouched as parents obsess over grades. One boasts about a fifth-place rank, while another awkwardly smiles about merely passing. The heavyweight arrives, Mr. Cha. He apologizes for being late, but his relaxed demeanor suggests he knows he's the one in charge. Amidst the pleasantries, Cha cuts to the chase, asking if the exam accident will affect the selection process, showing zero concern for the student's safety. This table hosts the core of the parent association. Beneath the polite laughter and dining lies a web of pending corrupt deals. Pleasantries over, a sly smile curls on Cha's lips. His eyes sharpen as he pivots to the real agenda of the night. The atmosphere turns icy. This isn't a dinner, it's a conspiracy. They begin plotting the post-admission process to rig the system for their own. Pulling a document from his briefcase, Cha targets Young Tae-young's father first, handing over the contract that seals their corrupt alliance. The room is stacked with power players, a tech giant CEO on one side and a media mogul VP on the other. No ordinary parents here. Next up are the guild leaders and government officials. It's like half the hunter industry's power structure is squeezed into this one room. Even the bureau minister is here. As Cha gestures for signatures, he drops the bomb regarding the sensitive issue of the recent practical exam. Mention of the special admission student who soloed the B sends panic through the room. They're terrified this powerhouse will steal their kids' spots. If he runs, are our kids finished? Facing their panic, Cha coldly twists the knife. Honestly, the probability is very high. The elites are rattled, demanding a countermeasure. Cha remains unfazed, crossing his arms with a look that says he's already way ahead of them. With a gaze full of dark confidence, he makes a bold promise. Rest assured, every single one of your children will make it into the student council. Back at the school, the campus bathes in peaceful sunlight, completely unaware of the dark schemes the adults have just finalized in the shadows. The classroom door slides open, and the noise instantly dies down. All eyes lock onto the entrance, filled with anticipation. The moment Junwoo steps in, he's swarmed by classmates. Their gaze has changed, they're looking at their savior. Chaos erupts at the bulletin board, students' jaws dropping in disbelief. Kim Junwoo from Class E just crushed the A-class elites to take first place. Kim Junwoo sits boldly at the top. A student stares, face flushed red with rage and sweat, gritting his teeth in total denial of this absolute madness. Junwoo is instantly mobbed like a celebrity. Students crowd him with praise and invitations, leaving him standing there sweating, looking completely awkward and overwhelmed by this sudden shift. Sick of the hypocrisy, Junwoo's eyes turn ice cold. He snaps at the crowd, telling them to stop pretending they're friends and to get the hell out of his face. The outburst leaves the hallway in stunned silence. Meanwhile, Go Eun-chai sits at her desk looking bored, until the sound of heavy footsteps approaches her position. It's Jun-woo. He seems relieved that the results weren't rigged, muttering that at least the biased teacher didn't manipulate the scores this time. He switches instantly to demon instructor mode. Glaring at his exhausted partner, he lectures that strength is the foundation, skills are useless if you don't have the stamina to fight. Eun-chai is stressing about the upcoming finals. But when Jun-woo learns the format isn't a dungeon raid but a sparring match, he completely freezes. The curriculum creates suspicion why it makes students fight. Then the brutal truth drops. His designated opponent is none other than the bully Oh Juseok. Jun-woo grips the desk as the name sinks in. It's a setup. With the parent association and a high-ranking father backing him, this is clearly a rigged match for revenge. He pictures the smug face and the conspiracy behind it. That snake-like teacher and the parent association definitely orchestrated this exam as a trap to punish him. But there's an opening. Eun-chai analyzes coldly. Oh Juseok has penalties and missed exams. If he screws up this fight, he'll be disqualified from the student council selection. Just crush him to move forward. Eun-chai glares sharply. When Jun-woo meekly says he'll try, she immediately mocks him with a condescending sneer. Try. Cornered, Jun-woo swears he'll do it. Eun-chai immediately takes charge, scheduling martial arts training and casually telling him to bring some friends along to help. She freezes mid-sentence. Her face flushes bright red as she looks away and stammers out the awkward truth. I actually don't have any friends. Jun-woo gasps, but Eun-chai snaps back in embarrassment. Don't look at me like that. You don't have friends either. Jun-woo opens his mouth to argue, but suddenly chokes on his words. Realizing his only friend is a middle-aged man, he breaks into a cold sweat. Desperate to save face, he just screams out a vague promise. I'll figure something out. His reaction only makes it worse. Seeing him hesitate and look guilty, Eun-chai presses him with wide eyes, demanding to know exactly what he's hiding. No, really, it's nothing. Jun-woo crosses his arms, stubbornly denying it. Outside the window, Senior Jong-yun watches the awkward scene unfold in silence. Cut to the hospital. Jong-yun sits in bed, bored out of his mind and actually missing the juniors. Looks like the no friends problem might have a solution after all. Jong-yun sits alone on the hospital bed, gazing out the window. The silence of the room amplifies the emptiness he feels, missing the days when his life was full of noise and purpose. The door bursts open. His father, the disgraced former detective, storms in shouting, startling Jong-yun out of his gloomy thoughts. Shock turns to relief as he sees the fruit basket. His dad grins, happy to have skipped work early for a visit, instantly warming the chilly hospital atmosphere. But the warmth is short-lived. His dad sits down and starts lecturing again, bringing up the legendary grandfather who never gave up, even after losing an arm. Then comes the pivot. The father's tone shifts from inspiring to conspiratorial, as he reveals he's still investigating. The cozy atmosphere shatters instantly. Sure enough, out come the documents accusing the parent association. Seeing the fanatical obsession in his father's eyes, Jong-yun feels nothing but exhaustion. His dad keeps rambling, pointing at the tablet for proof of bribery. Unable to take it anymore, Jong-yun snaps, shouting to cut through the madness. Emotions explode. Jong-yun screams, eyes red with rage, reminding his father that this very obsession is what cost him his job as a police officer. We lost everything because of that. The scream echoes in the room. His father freezes, stunned by the sheer weight of his son's despair and resentment. Tears stream down Jong-yun's face. He begs his father to accept reality. They can't fight the system, just as he can no longer dream of being a hunter. Refusing to listen, his father gets angry. He dismisses the plea, storms out shouting about the past, leaving his son behind in a fit of rage. Alone in the vast, cold hallway, Jong-yoon sits slumped on a bench. The argument has drained him, leaving him isolated in a suffocating silence. Scene shifts to the school. A blue-haired lackey of Oh Juseok is interrogating lower-year students, extending their influence into the regular classes to gather intel. The blue-haired guy pats the nervous fat kid on the head, a gesture of dominance disguised as friendliness. The kid sweats bullets, terrified of approaching the elite students. Seeing their hesitation, the lackey offers a reward. He pulls out a bill, but the students recoil in fear, frantically waving their hands to refuse the bribe. "Take it when an elder gives it." His face darkens as he forces the money into the kid's hand. It's not a gift, it's a command that crushes any resistance. The kid trembles as he looks at the cash. It's a measly 1,001. Yet the bully acts generous, making the humiliation even worse. Kim Jun-woo watches from the shadows. Instead of anger, the sight of the crumpled 1,001 bill triggers a cynical nostalgia for the days when that amount actually meant something. This petty corruption is beneath him. Jun-woo turns away, his eyes cold and focused. His only goal now is to crush Oh Juseok in the upcoming final exam. Jun-woo stands firm, mapping out his strategy. He can only hope Go Ah-yeon survives the written exam, but he knows the real gap must be widened in combat. He rubs his temples, feeling the headache set in. Oh Juseok is pathetic, but the parent association behind him is a wild card. Worse, there's nowhere to secretly train Ah-yeon in this exposed school. Just as the stress peaks, a cheerful voice breaks through from below. Senior Kim Jong-yoon is waving with that signature bright smile. How is this guy always so energetic? Jong-yoon casually asks about Ah-yeon's training progress, and Jun-woo freezes. Talk about bad timing, that's exactly the problem he can't solve. He awkwardly laughs it off. Sitting on the stairs, Jun-woo sighs and admits the truth. Class E is locked out of the gym with endless restrictions. Training there is effectively impossible. Hearing Jun-woo's worries, Jong-yoon keeps it light. He brings up their brush with death in the dungeon. Surely this is nothing compared to when they risked their actual lives? Memories flash back to the pouring rain and crumbling ruins. They sprinted through despair and made it out alive, a bond forged in blood and survival. They endured ear-splitting screams and crushing despair, standing tall against the chaos. That kind of trust isn't something a few school rules can break. Jong-yoon suddenly drops a heavy line. I wonder if you were there 2 years ago. Jun-woo blinks, completely caught off guard. What is that supposed to mean? Jong-yoon quickly laughs it off and flashes a thumbs up with the perfect solution. Why not use my family's dojo? Jun-woo's eyes widen. Problem solved. The scene shifts to the counseling room, where the air is thick with tension. The teacher sits in the shadows, ready to drop the hammer. The teacher's voice is cold as he strikes a nerve. Juseok, you're the one in real danger right now. The purple-haired bully breaks into a cold sweat, pupils trembling. Kim Jun-woo is running for the student council. Hearing the name, Juseok shrieks in disbelief. He looks like he's just seen a ghost. Juseok explodes with rage, unable to believe that a special admission student got an exemption. It's a slap in the face, and he's furious. The teacher drops the bomb. Jun-woo soloed a green rank boss. Juseok grits his teeth, forced to admit he saw the terrifying power with his own eyes. Juseok clutches his pants, trembling, still clinging to the hope that the spot is rigged for him. But the teacher cuts him down cold. Daddy can't fix this one for you. Failing grades, missed evaluations, he's about to be crushed by Jun-woo. Juseok loses it, screaming like a maniac, demanding the teacher rig the results by any means necessary. Seeing the student broken, the teacher finally hands over the solution, the exam papers. Just memorize the answers, and the written test is in the bag. But that's just step 1. The written test isn't enough. From the shadows, the teacher reveals a far more sinister plan. With a forbidden power lurking in the dark, they can crush Jun-woo in the combat exam too. The blue-haired boy stares at the device on the ground, realization dawning. Could this strange design really be what he thinks it is? The guy in the hoodie checks it, and his jaw drops. An unregistered B-rank skill? In a school of D-ranks, This is basically a cheat code. Junwoo crosses his arms with a confident smirk, calling it standard gear for pros. The hoodie guy sweats profusely. This is absolute insanity. Under questioning, he avoids eye contact and stammers, admitting he borrowed it from his father, sweat trickling down his face. Junwoo drops a bombshell. He's called in a heavyweight senior to assist with the special training. Footsteps approach from the door. The hoodie guy turns and screams in terror. It's the infamous Go Eun-chae. Eun-chae walks in with an icy expression, commanding the room. The boys whisper nervously, shocked she agreed to help despite her dislike for Junwoo. Junwoo grins and pats Eun-chae on the shoulder, dumping the training duty on her. She looks disgusted, barely tolerating his touch. Though clearly reluctant, the princess gritted her teeth and agreed, her eyes burning with suppressed anger. Cut to the gym, where screams and the thud of heavy impacts echo. It sounds painful just listening to it. It's not training, it's a beatdown. Ah-hyun collapses to the floor, tears welling up in her eyes from the sheer pain. The timid girl finally snaps, crying that it's too harsh. But Eun-chae coldly replies that she warned her this is real combat. Seeing Ah-hyun complain, Junwoo sighs and decides to escalate things. If she's scared of pain, they'll take off the gear and fight with skills. Junwoo roars at her to attack for real. Ah-hyun hesitates, worried about expulsion, but she's pushed to the edge. System alert. Skill restrictions lifted. Pushed to the brink, Ah-hyun's eyes change. Blue fire ignites in her palm as she abandons all hesitation. Azure flame activated. She drops into a low stance, blue fire raging in her hand. Junwoo raises an eyebrow, sensing the genuine danger of her power. The scene shifts, training continues. Junwoo gasps for air, radiating intense heat, clearly fresh from a brutal exchange. With a roar, a wave of blue energy explodes. The terrifying impact sends the opponent reeling back. No time to breathe. A fierce punch flies in. He barely dodges the first, but the follow-up strike lands square on his face, rattling his skull. A clean, brutal hit. The victim screams as he's knocked backward. The fight is decided in a split second. Ah-hyun hits the mat, gasping for air in agony, but Junwoo shows no mercy, coldly ordering her to get back up. Pushed to her limit, her eyes sharpen as the azure flame ignites around her, radiating a newfound intensity. She launches herself like a cannonball, a blazing kick tearing through the air straight toward Junwoo's face. Even with such ferocity, Junwoo dodges effortlessly, mocking her technique right in the middle of close combat. She hits the floor again, cursing in frustration, while Junwoo calmly stands over her, dissecting exactly why she failed. Teacher mode on. Junwoo cuts to the chase. She's too focused on chaining skills, making her movements stiff and predictable. Ah-hyun tries to argue, but Junwoo cuts her off cold. Focusing only on the attack leaves her wide open. Seeing she clearly doesn't get it, Junwoo smirks with a dangerous glint in his eye. He'll just have to beat the lesson into her. The pace explodes. Junwoo's attacks rain down, forcing Ah-hyun into a desperate defense, using every limb to survive. He smiles like a predator toying with prey, while Ah-hyun, drenched in sweat, grits her teeth and hunts for an opening. The moment Junwoo strikes, Ah-hyun seizes the opening and lands a vicious high kick, connecting with solid impact. Caught off guard, Junwoo's instincts take over faster than thought, automatically firing a high-level striking palm. Unable to dodge, Ah-hyun takes the full force of the blow, her face twisting in shock and pain. The impact is brutal. She sees stars, her head ringing as she stumbles backward, completely dazed. It was too much. She collapses on the mat, staring blankly, trying to process what just happened. Lying on the floor, she curses in defeat. Junwoo steps back, hammering home the point. This is why basics matter. She demands to know if he tried to kill her, while Junwoo sweats nervously. That strike was pure instinct, completely uncontrolled. Terrified by his skill, she questions who he really is. Junwoo, feeling the heat, plays dumb and deflects. She starts guessing he's some secret agent, So Junwoo shuts down the nonsense and orders her to rest, ending the interrogation. The scene shifts to the fencing gym, much more relaxed. The brown-haired guy pushes the door open, smiling and greeting the team. Looks like they're early. The blonde guy is sprawled on the floor, complaining about the dust. The brown-haired guy sits on the mat, reminiscing about watching his dad train here, mostly getting beaten up. Leaning against the railing, Jong-yoon suddenly asks about future plans. The brown-haired guy is taken aback but smiles, saying he's taking his time to figure it out. The brown-haired guy's eyes dim as he admits he only ever wanted to be a hunter, but that dream seems impossible now. Jong-yoon listens in heavy silence. "Who said it's impossible?" Jong-yoon speaks up, eyes intense, insisting that even with one arm, being a hunter is still within reach. The brown-haired guy thinks it's just empty comfort. But Jong-yoon snaps, shouting that he's not speaking lightly, he's speaking from experience. Jong-yoon takes a breath and tells a story. A hunter who lost his right arm but didn't give up, training his left arm to be even stronger. The brown-haired guy listens, stunned. "As long as you're alive, you can make it work." Hearing this familiar phrase, the brown-haired guy realizes Senior Kim Jun-woo said the exact same thing. Jong-yoon reveals the name with a heavy heart: Kim Chung-hoon, his grandfather. The brown-haired guy is completely floored. It's not just a legend, it's his legacy. Before he can process the news, the scene cuts to the training ground at dusk. It looks like a storm just tore through there. Dust from the explosion fills the air. The guy in the hoodie stares at his hands in manic delight, unable to believe a B-rank skill could be this destructive. With a savage grin, he snarls Kim Jun-woo's name, convinced he's won. Suddenly, a cold female voice cuts through his fantasy. It's Go Eun-chai. Arms crossed and serious, she warns him. Even if they're enemies, this is still a test. Don't let hate blind you. She specifically warns him, if he uses that technique and causes real damage, he'll be disqualified immediately. He just shrugs it off. It's Oh Juseok, arrogant as ever. He raises a fist, claiming he won't even need his ultimate move to crush a guy like Kim Jun-woo. In the distance, the shady Soo guy smirks from the shadows. He thinks his plan to use Go Eun-chai is working perfectly. Kim Jun-woo is finished. Scene shift. The chairman sits in his office, brooding over the most terrifying thing from 40 years ago. Meanwhile, someone's gaze turns razor sharp. On the rooftop, Kim Jun-woo turns his back on the sunset. He scoffs at the old stories, dismissing them as the ramblings of a senile fool. Night falls over the Zone 2 camp. Lights flicker on in the silence, with only the stars watching over this fortress in the ruins. The door creaks open. A young hunter with a scar peeks in, casually calling out for Chung-hoon. Looks like a memory from the distant past. The captain sits alone in the dark, focused on paperwork, until a noise startles him. He spins around, eyes widening in genuine surprise, to see his old teammates standing there at this late hour. It's Chung-hoon and Woo-shik, grinning from ear to ear. Claiming work is slow, they brought drinks to surprise him. The captain's serious face instantly melts into a laugh as he waves them in. Chung-hoon cracks open a rare blue bottle he scavenged, and the room goes quiet. His teammates' jaw drops. This isn't just booze. It's a luxury they haven't seen in ages. Chung-hoon beams, clutching the bottle like a trophy. He casually asks about the rest of the squad, his laid-back charm showing exactly why he's so popular among the troops. Hearing the others are stuck in a meeting, the trio makes a quick, selfish decision. With a mischievous grin, Chung-hoon suggests they don't wait after all. This bottle won't last long anyway. Rank doesn't matter tonight, just brotherhood. As the amber liquid fills the cups, they settle into the comfort of old friends, trading stories and forgetting the war outside for a moment. Chung-hoon roars with laughter, raising his glass high. He shouts about how he can still live the hunter life despite his injuries, his optimism shining brighter than the dim room. The mood snaps. Flashback to 8 months ago. Chung-hoon lies broken in a hospital bed, wrapped in bandages. Instead of complaining, he looks at his captain with shame, apologizing for getting hurt. The captain stares at the broken young man, heart heavy with regret. He mourns the loss of such a talent, while Chung-hoon struggles to speak, the air thick with unspoken grief. Suddenly, the injured man drops a bombshell. He asks the captain to teach him left-handed swordsmanship. The captain freezes in shock. Chung-hoon isn't giving up. He's adapting. Even bound to the bed, Chung-hoon clenches his fist with a fierce grin. As long as I'm alive, I'll make it work, he vows. His sheer willpower is enough to give anyone chills. The recovery is brutal. Push-ups until his muscles scream, swinging a sword with his offhand until it bleeds. He pushes through the agony, defying every expectation to master a new way of fighting. He didn't just recover, he evolved. No longer relying on brute strength, he became a tactical genius, striking monster weaknesses with surgical precision. The one-armed swordsman stands taller than ever. Chung-hoon stands confident and composed, a perfect swordsman in every sense. His smile hides the hell he walked through, earning the captain's deepest respect. Back in the present, they laugh off the pain. Chung-hoon jokes that he almost quit during training, and the captain immediately calls him out, reminding him whose idea it was in the first place. Chung-hoon brings up his old training sword, the guillotine. To anyone else, it's junk, but to him, it's a symbol of rebirth. He proudly announces plans to pass it down to his son, Dong-ju. When teased that his son hates hunting, Chung-hoon just laughs and says he'll give it to his grandkid instead. The squad cheers, telling him he better stay alive long enough to see that day come. The laughter pauses as realization hits. Someone points out nervously that talking about the future like that is a classic death flag, a jinx that usually guarantees you won't make it back. To break the jinx, they toast to the opposite, shouting that they should all die tomorrow. Glasses clash violently under the moon, their raucous laughter trying to drown out the ominous shadow of fate. The mood softens as Chung-hoon talks about his son. Apparently, the kid has already picked up his father's catchphrase, "As long as I'm alive, it'll work out." It's a heartwarming, funny echo of the man sitting right there. That was the last gathering. They listened to him brag about his kid, unaware it was their final drink together. Back to reality. The sun shines on the gym, but Jungwoo's mind is still stuck in that memory. Kim Jong-un pulls out an old photo, introducing the figures as his father and grandfather. Junwoo freezes. The legendary, stern swordsman looks like a complete fool in front of his child. The man once smiled and swore he'd live to see his grandchildren, his eyes full of hope. Looking at the photo, Junwoo feels a pang of guilt. Would things be different if he hadn't said those words back then? When asked about his grandfather's death, Jong-un quietly claims it was an accident during the crisis. Seeing Junwoo's silence, Jong-un laughs awkwardly, surprised an outsider knows so much about his grandfather. Fingertips graze the frame. Even after losing an arm, he was the strongest. Now, only this photo remains. Jong-un laughs, saying his dad would love Junwoo. Junwoo realizes that little rascal is now a father himself. The mood shifts at the mention of his father. A stubborn cop who lost his job refusing to drop a case. Pressed for details, Jong-un hesitates. The case runs deep, and he struggles with whether to speak. Finally, he speaks. It involves a murder case during the student council election 2 years ago. Just like recent events, 2 students vanished into thin air in the rain, leaving no trace. His father tried to investigate, but the case was buried, and he was forcefully fired. Ironically, because his rivals vanished, Jong-un inherited the council seat by default. He was ostracized in the council, only Eun-chae treated him kindly. The elites didn't even take the entrance exam. He often wonders if he could have stopped the tragedy had he reached out just a little sooner. That guilt drove him to risk everything to save others this time. He couldn't watch someone die again. He laughs loudly to mask the pain. Junwoo watches silently, a look of recognition in his eyes. Junwoo's eyes widen in sheer shock. He stammers, barely processing what he's seeing. "This is, huh? Oh, that." Kim Jong-un grips the guillotine's blade with solemn reverence. It's the only memento his father kept, intended to be passed down through generations. He asks to borrow the blade. Turning his back, his grip tightens as he murmurs, "You said my grandfather's story sounded far-fetched, right?" Turning back, the doubt in his eyes is replaced by steel resolve. "It's not an exaggeration." He invites Junwoo to the sparring exam. He's ready to prove it. The final exam week begins. For days of hell start now, kicking off with the dreaded written tests. Silence fills the room, broken only by the scratching of pencils. Tension hangs heavy as everyone focuses intensely on their papers. The blue-haired delinquent enters full panic mode. Staring at the gibberish on the page, he realizes he hasn't attended a single class. His brain melts. Junwoo is also struggling. Slaying monsters is easy, math is not. But he notices Oh Juseok looking strangely focused. That scumbag definitely memorized the answers beforehand. Meanwhile, the outcast Go Ayan is breezing through the test. This sight makes the blonde heiress, Go Eunchai, grit her teeth, her eyes burning with intense jealousy. This guy is sweating bullets, glancing at the top student next to him. "She's always ranked first," he prays, betting his entire grade on her answers. Finally, the dark-haired girl stands up to hand in her paper. Facing the stern proctor, she meets his gaze with cool, unwavering confidence. The balding teacher snaps, his glasses glinting dangerously. "Don't look away." The student freezes, terrified, and meekly submits to the pressure. The written torture is over. It's day 4. The campus speakers crackle to life. The main event is about to begin. "The first-year sparring test will begin shortly." As the summons to the auditorium echoes, the atmosphere in the classroom instantly shifts from calm to electric. The blonde girl clenches her fist in excitement. She's been waiting for this. The guy beside her stays cool, simply saying, "Let's go!" The crowd outside is massive. The blonde girl shouts for Kim Junwoo, but he just frowns, clearly annoyed by the noise and the unwanted attention. Stepping inside, everyone is stunned. This isn't just an exam, it's a coliseum. A tsunami of cheers erupts, shaking the very ground they stand on. The stands are packed, students screaming their lungs out. Professional cameras roll, broadcasting every second of this spectacle live. "What is this, pro wrestling?" The guy is freaked out by the scale. The girl explains the stakes. Top rankers get student council seats, so the whole school is watching. Junwoo stares coldly. Treating monster hunts like TV shows wasn't enough. Now they're turning student fights into a spectacle. It's disgusting. The students aren't blind. They despise the adults cashing in on their lives. Meanwhile, Chairman Bae Wishik steps up to read the hypocritical rules. He offers some fake praise for their hard work, then drops the rule: random 1v1 duels. Winners advance, losers go home. Junwoo smirks, gripping his stick. He recognizes this immediately. It's King of the Hill, the brutal format from his era. Fight until you drop. The rules are vicious. 0-point rookies can retry endlessly, but once you score a point, a single loss eliminates you forever. No room for error. The instructor adds a hollow warning: gear absorbs damage, but you can still get hurt, so hold back. Yeah, right, like that'll happen. The crowd erupts instantly, complaints forgotten. With the signal given, the elite Class A battles begin, and the arena goes wild. The screen flashes. 2 top A class names appear. It's a heavy hitter match right off the bat. Geared up and in position. The referee gives the command, and the tension in the arena spikes instantly. They clash instantly, kicks flying in a blur. In the stands, Go Eunchai stares wide-eyed. This is the raw power of Class A. The fight is explosive. Totally impressed, Eunchai turns to Junwoo beside her. "What do you think of that move?" She turns around, and he's asleep. Arms crossed, dozing off. Eunchai nearly explodes. "You're sleeping through a match like this?" Junwoo wakes up groggy and yawns. "Class A is a mess. Nothing to see here. Wake me when it's our turn." Eunchai is left speechless. He even mocks her standards before looking up at the sky. To him, this high-level duel is nothing but a boring lullaby. He naps for a while, until someone taps his shoulder. The Class D matches are already over. Junwoo stretches, looking completely unbothered. Finally, the announcement comes. Class E, get ready. After waiting so long, the hype is dead. The students look drained, muttering about what's for lunch instead of the fight. When it's finally Class E's turn, the stands are mostly empty. The roaring crowd is gone, replaced by awkward silence. A girl sneers, see? No one gives a damn about Class E. Her friend freezes, stung by the harsh truth. But then, a familiar figure appears in the empty stands. Junwoo looks up at senior Kim Jong-un. The roster for Class E is about to be revealed. Kim Junwoo grips his staff, a confident smile playing on his lips. He's ready. The strategy was to hide their true strength by sending out someone average first. So, the timid Go-Ahyang gets the call. Things are already going off script. Junwoo groans in annoyance as the plan falls apart. He'll have to handle this mess. Seeing her sister freeze up, Go-Eunchai shouts from the sidelines, "Don't overthink it. Just stick to the training." Suddenly, a crazy rule drops. She has to win 10 matches in a row. The insane difficulty leaves the whole crowd stunned. Faced with this impossible challenge, Ahyang actually calms down. She stands her ground, smiling with newfound confidence. Fight! The opponent, Lim Jae-hai, doesn't hesitate. She instantly powers up her armor and activates her skills to end this quick. Ahyang doesn't back down. She unleashes a devastating strike, creating a massive shockwave that crushes her opponent's defense. It's over in a heartbeat. Lim Jae-hai gets blasted away, hitting the ground hard and totally out of the fight. The crowd goes wild with shock. How is the quiet girl this strong? Only Junwoo sits there calmly, unfazed by the chaos. Watching the devastation, Junwoo grips his cross tight and narrows his eyes. Did she overdo it a little?